Yeah, there we go. Excellent. So welcome everybody. Jeff, thanks for the second just by second update. The Fed cut the rates by 25 basis points. I think you can see that probably another two or three or maybe even four times. We're in an exciting space and time.
Yes.
It hold on because it's going to get rockier, but then the volatility is going to start rising as well. But the good news is, particularly for folks that already know the story, but for the new folks that are joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to show you something that doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet or in the universe. With that, my name is Edward Pereira. I'm your host. My co-host and good friend and business partner Attila Heveshi joins us, and then the man of the hour, the Einstein that has put all of this together. We won't call him a genius. We'll kind of call him a genius, right? But geniuses don't normally recognize themselves as geniuses. But when you see,
Oh, I do. I recognize myself as a genius.
all right, there you go. You've heard it from the peanut gallery. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to set some expectations. All righty, let me make that bigger. All right, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
As you've heard us say, again, welcome for those repeat offenders. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us and continuing to learn and supporting our masterclass, our community. We love you. We appreciate you. And hopefully you're benefiting from each and every week. So as you may have heard me say before, at least for the past 4 or 5 weeks, start the expectation at transformation, because we are, in the global sense, going from a debt-based system that is programmed to keep you broke to a independent, decentralized environment, which gives you more control and more choices than anybody's ever had before. And we make it easy. As a matter of fact, I've said it to Mr. Barsano before, what he has created makes it boring to make money. But that's okay. But I love to be bored because it buys back my time and I get to spend time with my family, my good friends, present company included. So what you're going to see today is about a 45-minute deep dive. We always end up going to 2 full smart water bottles, and sometimes we breach the 3-hour mark, but most of that is because we have great questions after we go over the features of it's the only completely autonomous crypto trading and money management platform that exists. We're going to talk about bots and AI, and you're going to understand why this is light years, literally light years ahead. It's a system that trades 24/7, 365, doesn't take leap year off either, that puts you in a position where literally you can set it and forget it and grow a portion or as much of your financial life on autopilot as possible. You're going to see what I've deemed the billion-dollar report, which identifies optimal trading opportunities. It's a report that's updated on a monthly basis that highlights the most volatile coins in the marketplace, qualified by, that is, on Coinbase and Kraken. It's a system that literally connects securely via API. You're going to get all the details about that. You're going to see a couple of live demonstrations. I set up a demo account about a little bit over 6 months ago. And in a crashing market, I want to show you what this does. If you were here with us a couple of weeks ago, anybody that owned the trader are the only ones that made money when the bottom fell out of the market in the flash crash. You're going to understand the set it and forget it part, and we're going to drill that in because it doesn't resonate with people because it sounds too good to be true. When I first saw it, it sounded too good to be true until I did my due diligence and understood very acute and succinctly what Mr. Barsano has brought to the world. So with that, let me go to the next screen. Put your sunglasses on. It's going to hurt your eyes. All in red. It's not to scare you, but it's just to set the expectation that this is for informational and educational purposes only. We are not tax, investment, legal, or financial advisors in any way, shape, or form. We are educating you on what is out in the marketplace and in some cases, what is not. The good news is that as our community grows, we are surrounding ourselves, and in the background, we're doing a lot of work to put the best of the best um, advisors in those areas as part of our joint venture, if you will. So stay tuned to our channels, also to what we make announcements in our community, and anybody that has not joined it, we'll put links in the chat, and you can follow along because we are creating an ecosystem that does not exist anywhere else, with the primary goal of exposing you to information that the Matrix, I lovingly call the Matrix, doesn't want you to know about your money. As I said, you're programmed, everybody on the planet's been programmed to stay broke, to get a job, go to school, get a job, trade time for money. We're going to break those chains, and you have access to it. Nothing that you see is guaranteed, although we are going to present things from a factual perspective. This platform, Go Baby Trade, that has been created by Mr. Barsano, was released in early 2021. And since then, anybody that's paid attention to the crypto market, the market's been down over 90%. Yet his performance in his traders, and it's been indicative of everybody that's owned the trader since, has multiplied his money in that period of time, not even 4 years, by 5x. Ask Mr. Barsano along the way how that's possible in a 90% down market, but it just is. It's literally the greatest tool you'll ever be exposed to. You're here at your own risk. Everything you see is as is, and that's the last of the qualifiers, with the exception of we keep the chat open. So new folks that have questions, you can put them in there. We generally will not address questions in the chat, but you can ask folks that are here. We have a large following of repeat offenders that own the trader that will tell you, don't listen to how great it is from us, although we're going to give you all those details. But you actually are in a position where you have unpaid spokespeople that have benefited from it in the chat. However, as we go along, if you do have a question, please put it in the Q&A, because once we go over the platform, we're going to switch to a Q&A, and we will get all of your questions answered. So with that, excuse me, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hevesy, and away we go. As I always like to say, put your 6-point racing harness on. Don't fall out of your chair, because you're going to see some things that are going to make you jump and fall out of your chair, and we don't want you to bump your head. So with that, Attila.
Yeah, good job, Edward. Thank you. So everybody, my name is Attila Hevesy. I appreciate it, every single one of you being here. It's a very good move to be here on Hump Day. You could be anywhere and you're here, and that's a very smart move, because like Edward said, you're going to see something that's just not available anywhere else. It's an incredible technology, thanks to our special guest, Mr. Barsano. My job is to tell you how I met Mr. Barsano, and as a result, all of you are here today. So I'm full-time blockchain, DeFi, crypto since September of 2020. That's all I've done full-time. I'm not an uber expert, but I know more than 95 to 98% of the people walking the streets on what's going on, and more importantly, what's coming. But a little bit of background: Mr. Barsano, after he finished up in the Navy, ended up being the one of the first hires, actually, by Bill Gates at Microsoft. This was in the mid-'80s when Microsoft was going straight up vertical. And he did very, very well with them, had a great reputation, was a lead software engineer and programmer on many, many projects, and got the job done. And after 9 years, retired. He was still a young man, under 40 years of age, and he was bored, so he started tinkering with the tech stocks. And that was kind of going up at that point in time too, with the internet revolution. And by the way, one of the reasons why I'm full-time 5 years since September 2020 in the digital money revolution is because I did totally missed the internet revolution. So I said, there's no way I'm going to miss this digital money revolution, that what I call it, DMR. And So that's why I decided to jump in with both feet and learn as much as I could. But anyway, back to Mr. Barsano. In the year 2000, unfortunately at first, but really very fortunate for all of us and for him, he lost his rear end in the stock market. He lost about 60% of his net worth, and he got very irritated at that. And he said, you know what? They're picking on the wrong guy. I'm going to show them a thing or two. I'm going to hurt them. And he even said, I don't know
Well,
who.
I didn't really feel all that.
um, but you know, he said, I'm gonna level the playing field for the average person out there and allow the masses to not gamble anymore and have a very, very, very good shot of making money. Maybe not every single day, but every second day, every third day. Sometimes it may go, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. Sometimes it may go 2, 3, 4, or 5 days without taking a profit, but it's still working for you. And you'll see that in a few minutes. So in 2000, 2001, Mr. Barsano developed the world's first fully automated robotic stock market trader. So get this, you downloaded some software, and it was cumbersome back then. It took about an hour to 90 minutes to download it. But once it was downloaded and on your PC, it opened on Monday morning by itself at 9:30, traded the stock market all day for you, 100% unattended. You didn't have to look at the screen or do anything or change anything. And at 4 p.m., it shut itself off. Now, that's pretty incredible now, but 24, 25 years ago, think about how remarkable that was to have that tech. Now, let's fast forward a little bit to 2012. A good friend of mine back then introduced me to the idea of, he literally asked me, Attila, how would you like to make money in the stock market, but not have to do anything? And I was confused. I'm like, how is that even possible? That doesn't make sense. So he said, there is a way. I met a man. You need to meet this guy. So that's when I was introduced to Ed Barsano. I don't think we were more than 20 minutes into the conversation where I said, okay, time out. I cry uncle. Let me just buy this thing and put it to work. And I did, and it was amazing. I was blown away because I always wanted to make money in the stock market, but I am not the type that's going to learn how to trade on my own or be a day trader. That's not me. I'm a big picture guy, and I'm always busy. So I don't want any screen time with numbers. Okay. The only numbers I want to be associated with are the ones going in my bank back then. Okay. Not so much anymore. Now it's what's going in my exchange, not my bank. So anyway, the bottom line is this. I actually back then helped Mr. Barsano bring this to the world and market it through a marketing company he associated with. I mean, we were on airplanes flying all over the country to meetings. We broke bread. We had a blast. But you know how partnerships can go. That marketing company really didn't hold up its end of the deal. So Mr. Barsano protected his brand, went back to being solo. And at the end of the day, in 2018 or so, he sold out to a hedge fund that had bought many, many, many licenses from him. And by the way, back in 2012, 13, and 14, that company, that marketing company, did sell for $16 million worth of licenses on the trader, which was a large number. That's a lot of business. So this is where the story shifts a little bit because March of 2024, I'm sitting at my desk and I was a little frustrated that day. And I'm thinking, look, I'm a cash flow guy. My parents always said cash is king. I do believe that's out the window. I subscribe to the Warren Buffett philosophy. Warren Buffett said very wisely many, many, many moons ago, he said, if you're not making money in your sleep, you're going to work till you die. And I agree with that. You've got to put the money to work. You can't, it's not enough to do it yourself. That's too much. You can't work enough hours to do it yourself. Money's got to multiply itself for you. And quickly, you know, my background is financial, and for a while I was in financial planner with Mass Mutual, actually. And I was, back then, we were always talking in terms of, in 20 years, Mrs. Smith, you'll have this, or in 25 years, or in 30 years. As the saying goes, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. I mean, who wants
We
to
got
wait?
that on tape.
Yeah, who wants to wait 20, 25, 30 years to multiply their money the way it can be multiplied now in this digital money revolution in 2, 3, 4 years, or a lot
Or
faster?
1 year.
Yeah, in 1 year, perhaps. So, so the bottom line is I'm sitting at my desk and I'm thinking, how do I multiply my crypto so it earns more crypto on itself? And it took me a day, but it hit me between the eyes a day later. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about my buddy, Ed Barsano. I still luckily had his number in my iPhone here. Okay. Yep. I tracked him down. We spoke for almost 3 hours. And I had a hunch. I just had a hunch that somewhere along the line in the last 3, 4 years, he had developed a trader just like he had for stocks for the crypto market. And he
That
on
was a
that,
2 water bottle phone call.
yes, that's right. It was a long one. And but it was, I mean, it was many years since we had spoken. We had a lot of catching up to do. But anyway, I touched base with him and he did confirm my hunch. He said, Attila, I did in April of 21 launch an autonomous robotic trader for crypto. And I got to tell you, it's light years ahead of where the stock trader was. And I said, why is that? And he gave me 4 compelling reasons. Now, folks, if you hear nothing else today, obviously you got to listen closely to what Mr. Barsano says. But if you hear nothing else of what I'm going to say, listen carefully here because these 4 things really matter. Number one, he said, Attila, you know, if you want to make big money in any kind of trading, precious metals, stocks, anything, you got to have that up and down volatility. There's no asset class on earth with more volatility than crypto. And that's just a fact. It's crazy. Up and down moves of 10, 15, 20% up or down is not uncommon in this space. Stock market's been around over 100 years. You don't see that anymore unless something happens to crash. Number two, he said the stock market is 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto's 24/7, 365. That's a big advantage. I had to agree with that. Number three and number four is really what rocked my world as it pertains to the trader. He said, Attila, I created oh no, he said it's not downloadable software anymore. It's web-based. And I didn't know what that meant, so I asked him. He said, what it means is I can have you trading live connected to your own Coinbase or Kraken account in less than 10 minutes. And I said, oh, that's what I needed to hear. Let's go. Giddy up. I bought the trader on the spot. In 8 to 9 minutes, I was connected live to my Coinbase trading with, I started with just under 10 grand. That blew me away because I remember the old days in 2012. It was nothing like that. Trust me, folks. But number four was most important to me, and it should be to all of you. And that was, he said, Attila, I created the API connection to your Coinbase or your Kraken account at the exchange level. So you and only you control your money or your crypto. Why was that important? Because I'm embarrassed to say at that point, I was full time in this space 3.5 years and I had lost already a lot of money. I obviously made more than I lost, but it was a lot of money. Nobody should lose that kind of money in any space. But why did I lose those funds? Because I didn't control my crypto. My crypto was sitting at a third party exchange, not my own, or a third party wallet. Here, your funds are guaranteed 100% at every moment, now and in the future, because the money is at the exchange level, your exchange. Ed Barsano can't touch your money. That's a biggie, folks. So before I introduce Mr. Barsano and get back to Edward for 1 minute or two, let me ask everybody to keep 2 or 3 things at the forefront of your mind. Number one, when we say set it and forget it, you're going to hear that a lot today. Set it and forget it or 100% unattended. Please take it literally. What does that even mean? That means literally there's no screen time required. Once you're live and you're connected to your trader, you don't need to interact. You don't need to put anything in there. You don't need to do a darn thing. That's never been seen before. Number two, please understand what Mr. Barsano has brought to the world for the average folks. He didn't create this for the uber wealthy Wall Street already had something like that when he created this for the ordinary Tom, Dick, and Harry and Sally. Okay. But what he's done is something that's never been done before without anybody being an accredited investor, without anybody knowing anything about trading, without anyone knowing anything about crypto or blockchain. You could now make money in your sleep. Again, that's never been done before. So that is a really, really, really key thing that I want you to all keep right up here at the forefront of your minds. Now, there's a couple of other things that I'll interject as we go on, but first, I want to reintroduce Edward just briefly for a minute or two. Edward, do you mind quickly showing your paper trading account? I believe about 7 months ago, you made a change to your account, and the numbers are baffling on what your traders generated for you in simulation. But the trader, of course, does not know the difference between simulation and real trading live. It gives you the same results. So if you don't mind doing a screen share before we introduce Ed, that would be great.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and absolutely, I want to call out Scott. Thanks for the thanks for the great comments. Russell's had the trader and made 2,000. Actually, he and his wife have traders. They each made about $2,000 in the last 2 weeks. That's not a bad day. Kathy, happy anniversary. This is her 6-month anniversary. She said, my only regret is not starting sooner. Life is better with Go Baby Trade. So we appreciate that. So yes, let me share my screen, and I'll give you some framework of why I did what I did. So in the expectation slides, you heard transformation, and you heard billion-dollar report. I call it the billion-dollar report because we always encourage you to do your own research and make sure that you understand not only what this is, but wait a second. Why did my bear with me?
Login.
Yep. I apologize. About 5 minutes before we started, there was some sort of a power interruption.
No, do your thing. I'll just let everybody know that. By the way, when Mr. Barsano started from scratch to develop the crypto trader, he also redeveloped in a web-based fashion the stock trader. I don't know why anybody would get the stock trader, maybe to trade silver nonstop or gold, but there's not nearly the kind of volatility in stocks. But I just want to make sure, if you're new to this, the stock trader is still available, but the crypto trader is where it's at, in my humble opinion. Go ahead, Edward.
Yep. Okay. Sorry about the blip. Power's been fluctuating on our side, but the billion-dollar report is a report that it's issued once a month, and it highlights and illuminates the highest trade volume coins that are tradable in the system because they reside either on Coinbase and or Kraken. So at the time, and this was 6 months and 2.5 weeks ago, I said, okay, well, I want to test out the value of all the new improvements. And by the way, Mr. Barsano and his team, I don't know how they do it, but they don't sleep. I think they just rotate and crank out more value in what the tools are and function and features within the system. But we're not here to sell the functions and the features other than you understanding that it literally just happens all by itself. It's back to what I talked about, transformation. What does this allow you to do? If it allows you to buy back your time, which everybody knows you can make money, but you can't make time. This has affected me personally because it's allowed me to buy back my time, travel with my family. I've got a little 10-year-old that we just recently paroled from child prison. That is, all pun intended, that he gets to travel with us and he gets to learn from life, not from a book or not from programming. So tell him a little bit jaded there, but anyhow, back to the system. I started.
You mean brainwashing?
That part. So
when you said not from programming, programming is a great thing.
Oh, right. Misprogramming. It's the
brainwashing.
Yeah, programming from the miseducational, misdirectional system That
Threw me
is.
off. That really woke me up when you said not from programming.
I'm glad you're paying attention.
That's funny.
So the top four coins, Bonk, Zora is an outlier because somebody wanted to know why it wasn't available in the $1 billion report. It's because the coin has to be trading for a year for it to be on that report. So nevertheless, the top four came directly from the highest value. I think they were in the top 10 at the time, a little bit over 6 months ago. And so I plugged them in. I wanted to know what it would do. Well, you can see what it's done. I started with $100,000. Even with a market, you go back 6.75, 7 months ago, and you're looking at a market that has been hammered down relentlessly 50 to 60% from its previous 90% down market. So still, the value of my account is over $100,000. This is profit taken today. This is profit taken in the last 30 days. And the volatility has slowed down a bit. And we'll talk about this is because the big boys, now that we've framed this in your head, we're still kind of in the wild west, but things are tightening up. We have official government regulation. We have global adoption by governments backing their countries with digital assets, with asset-based, not debt-based. Watch the tea leaves because that tells you something. But what's been happening over the last 3 or 4 months, accelerated, is that, and you saw direct evidence of it on the 9th, late on the 9th Eastern time, and on the 10th, where institutional investors have been jumping in this market and forcing it down to chase the average person that doesn't know anything about crypto, doesn't know anything about what's going on, just had some crypto. And many people, if you've owned crypto for the last 5 years and you don't have a tool like this, you're kind of pissed because yes, you have great inventory that's going to be worth a fortune, but you're missing out on the cash flow machine, which doesn't exist anywhere else, right? So, and we've not done a whole lot of advertising. That's going to change, but you're in the right place at the right time. And people just simply need to know about this.
Yep.
What it's taken over the last 6 months in profit, hands off, set it and forget it. Almost $45,500 annualized. That is a shade over 100% because I won't bore you with the background screen. The money management still has not deployed all of my original investment. So if you really to look at the amount of money that is deployed to the 100,000, I think at last check it was around 72 to 73,000, and measure that against the gains of the 45,000 and change, you're looking at more of 115 to 120% return annually. Now, if that doesn't jar you and go, how is that possible? I can't answer how that's possible, but thank goodness we have the creator that will explain it. But in a 80 to 90% plus down market over the last 4 years, it simply cranks out money. Not
How
only
much
money.
screen time? How much screen time? How many hours or minutes or seconds were you in front of the screen interacting with this to generate that?
The only time I ever look at my account is when we're doing these webinars. So I'm pleasantly surprised when it just happens, and it just continues to work whether I watch it or not. Like I said, it's done the most amazing thing for me and my family. It's given us a way to make money in our sleep, and it's bought all of our time back. So other than the privilege of being in business with these two gentlemen and educating people, this is a really good time. I love what we do, and that's all I do is fly around the world, cruise around the world, and educate people. So
awesome.
Take it seriously. It literally takes no screen time. Once you set it up, it literally just does it by itself. And Mr. Barsano will touch on this as well, is that when people finally see that this really, really works and they get it because it's money in their account, they look for every possible nickel, including those that have fallen through your Chevy seat and whatever's in your couch, to put more money in this machine just to simply make your life easier. It not only
Yep.
multiplies your money, but it multiplies your money with cash flow, which literally does not exist. We're going to talk a lot about what this means. I'm not going to steal Mr. Barsano's thunder, but he's going to explain all the features and functions that are on the dashboard, how it makes profit, how AI gets involved, and literally the time and effort that he and his team have spent doing this over the past 25 going on 26 years. So thanks for letting me share that little bit of story.
Yeah.
I'm slightly over 2 minutes as usual, but I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, that's phenomenal results. And you know, the way we look at it, if it was half that, it would still be phenomenal. If it was 1/4 of that, it would be way, way above TradFi. TradFi being traditional finance. So we're in a different stratosphere here. This is like anyway, let me do this. It's my privilege to introduce the man I met in 2012 who he doesn't like it when we call him a genius, so I won't. But I will.
I think
I will.
I think he's leaning that direction.
I will. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Ed Barsano to everybody. And Ed, take it away. The floor is yours, and share with everybody your
Cool.
your amazing platform.
All right. Well, first, thank you. Thank you always for inviting me, and thank you, Crypto Casey, for letting me speak to your audience. You know, Crypto Casey puts videos out like every week, or I don't even know, maybe every day even. I share them on my Facebook. And I think it's the coolest thing. Everyone loves it. They talk about how much they learned from her. I learn from her. I watch all of her videos. I think she's absolutely amazing. So thank you very much, Casey.
Yep.
First off, the first question I have is I got my Apple 101 device here. This pad. That's what Edward calls it. What is an Uber expert anyways? You said you're not an Uber expert, you know, and all through school, I always sat right in the front with me and the instructor. Say something I don't get, stop right there. Because if I didn't get it, I know those guys in the audience didn't get it back there. Especially those stoners in the back row, you know, sitting back there. So I always have to question those things. So what do you mean by what is an Uber expert?
That's somebody that's at the very, very, very top of their game as far as being the best of the best, the creme de la creme, knowing everything there is to know about a topic or a subject or a profession.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Right. Well, thank you. I heard you say that another time, and I wanted to know.
Well, if you look up Uber expert in Wikipedia, you'll see Attila's face.
Oh, all right. First off, I also want to say, the trader that when you're looking at the trader on the screen, just like Edward showed his trader, that's not the actual trader. You do realize that, right? That's a website, and it's showing you what your trader is actually doing. The actual trader is running on our servers, and there's no graphical interface like this. It's flying, man, like the ever-ready bunny rabbit. I mean, that thing's going 1,000,000 miles a second, you know? I mean, it's not sitting around putting things on screens and everything. And if you look, since you have it up on the screen, you see where it shows like today's move? Wow,
On
things
the
are
bottom.
starting to, yeah, things are, we're having a nice day today. Things are starting to heat up. And the current ask price, you notice the current ask price to the right of that? You don't see numbers changing on this screen that often, but those numbers are actually changing every second, every multiple times a second, in the database. And I'll show that to you. I mean, the actual data coming in, you're gonna, it's so many of these numbers you wouldn't be able to watch it if the numbers were changing as fast as the auto trader is seeing things. The numbers are flying all over the place, and the auto trader can keep track of all that.
But Ed, the reason I bought the trader from you is because I didn't want to watch it. That's the whole
Yeah,
point. I
you
have
don't
no
want to.
I have no desire to watch numbers going up and down. Just make me the money.
Yeah, there's so there's a huge misconception in the market people think things have to go up, up, up to make money, but that's not how it works, you know. And I use 7-Elevens as an example, or a Quick Mart, you know, grocery stores. I mean, you can't sell $50 bags of potato chips. Nobody will buy them. You can't even get an old person like my grandmother, say, to buy a $4 bag of potato chips. And that's what we pay for them now. You know, if you grew up, some of us remember the nickel candy bars. You know, I mean, how do you feel about spending $1 for a candy bar? I mean, it feels weird. I remember when my grandmother used to give me a $1 and I could go to the candy store, Ann's candy store, right downstairs from where my grandmother lived, and you get 2 bags of candy with $1, you know. So, anyways, nowadays, you know, prices have gone through the roof, and you can't. People you wanna make a lot of money, and people's understanding of the market. There's somebody out here mowing their lawn or something. I hear it. You know, can you guys hear that?
We can hear a little bit of it. I'm glad to know it's outside. We thought maybe it was a little bit of feedback.
Oh, no, they got some kind of thing going.
It's negligible, Ed. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not negligible to my right ear, I'll tell you that. Um, but have a misunderstanding about the market. You don't want it to go straight up. You know why you don't? Because you don't have enough yet. You don't have enough inventory. You don't want things to run before you load up. And that's why I try to tell people, a lot of people don't want to get in the market because they say, well, I'll get in, you know, after things start going up. I'm like, it's too late then. You don't have any inventory. So what if it goes up? You don't own anything. And that biggest jump that it's going to do, when this market really takes off, you're going to, just like a couple of weeks ago when you saw the market drop 30% in one day, and then on October 10th, that straight line down 30%. I mean, that was beautiful. But what happens when it shoots up 30% and you don't have any inventory because you don't own any? So, you know, you want to have a lot of inventory. Down is good. You want to be able to accumulate. It takes the auto trader a while. Look over there where it says bonk and you have 20 in parentheses. That means you bought that coin. You have 20 lots of inventory. 20 lots that were bought at lower prices or at higher prices as it was going lower. 12 lots of Ondo, 17 lots of Pepe, 18 lots of Whiff, and I'm going to stop there because I don't know what Zora is. But I mean, these are top moving coins, and you're accumulating a lot of inventory. Just like Donald Trump, he has $7 billion worth of crypto. He didn't buy it all at the bottom. He didn't buy it at these prices. He bought it all while it was going down. The difference between what he does and what we do is he's accumulating and we're accumulating too, but while we're accumulating, we're also selling. You can see on the lower right of the screen here, today's, you know, closed trades.
Yeah, the
We
last four moves, if you look, let's see, 10:28. So yesterday at 5:28 or 5:27 p.m., it bought Pepe 76,574,000. Important number because look at 9:18 this morning. It sold it off for a profit. Look at the next one. Today at 6:16 a.m., it bought Whiff, and less than 2 hours later, it sold it.
or 2.5 hours later.
Yep. Two and a half hours. Sorry. Yep.
And yeah, and it's up to the market, you know, as it moves around, we just keep taking money. I call it an insult to humanity. It's the easiest game in town. So I wanted to point out, I take notes, you know, while these other guys are talking, you know, since I'm so bored sitting here. Well, you know, anyways, so anyone can make money in a straight up market. That's what Joe Public wants. That's what millions of people want. That's all they want. Nobody out there is thinking about anything else other than I want to buy it here and I want it to go straight up. You know, and by the way, I'm not a genius. I just drink smart water. All right. So everybody wants the market to just go straight up, and they're wrong. I don't want it to go up. I hate Microsoft at $500 a share. I hate them. I loved them at $30 a share. That was, they're, and these coins here, I love them at these prices. Do you guys remember the Hunt brothers? Some of you might remember.
Yep.
What year
Yep.
was
Quarter in the
that?
silver market.
They tried to corner the silver market. They took a shot at it, and they didn't have enough money to do that. But they took a shot at it. And I'm looking at the whales today, and they're trying to corner the crypto market. And you know what? They're doing it. It's working. They're actually pulling it off. They've been pulling it off for the last 4 years as they've been driving this market lower and lower the prices, and the little guy or the what do you call him? I hate calling him the little guy,
The
but
average investor.
yeah, call him that. The average investor, when prices go down, they think that's bad. And that's man, let me tell you, that's a hard thing to counter. I could sit there forever and try to, when I used to present to audiences, live audiences, and it's hard to be the abstainer, the guy that's saying you're all wrong. But I'm used to it. I've been doing that my whole life. Trying to, tell people they're all wrong. And, you gotta have, you know, I don't know what you have to have. You gotta be willing to step up and just accept that society's wrong. Otherwise you become part of society, you become part of the wrong. And I always knew it was wrong. It's just numbers going up and down. But everybody wants things to go up, 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 and I'm like, what good is it if it goes up if I don't own it? Doesn't do you any good for the market to go up if you don't own it, if you don't own any shares. So waiting for the market to go up is the wrong thing to do, because you're waiting, you want to miss the whole show. You want the market to go straight up. And do you think it's not going to go up? That's the thing. So there's so many layers of problems here. Maybe I don't want to call it psychological problems, but challenges that there's how do you break through a society that is completely off, is completely wrong? And there's too much education involved. I realized that as I got older, and I've been doing this for so long. I look at my competitors. I don't know what you see. If you see like a bot out there, or there's a whole bunch of bots. There never were bots before, when it was the stock market. For 21 years, there was no such thing as a bot. And then, even TD Ameritrade, when they called me in 2006 and said, will you connect to us? I was the only robotic trader in existence. And you remember and I said, why are you calling me? How do you even know me? And you remember what the answer, what did he say, Edward?
You're real.
I like that. I thought that was the coolest thing, and, he said, you're real. And I said, you're right, I am real.
Yeah,
Because
that's pretty amazing when you have a trading house that manages billions of dollars of other people's assets to catch you to find you of the needle in the haystack or the needle in a stack of needles and give you that sort of compliment. I that would make me feel pretty good.
And then to call me and say, will you connect your robotic trader to us so our clients can use it? That's cool. That was really, and it was that kind of confirmation. I've been getting confirmation like that for 25 years. I keep getting all this constant feedback that's telling me you're right, you're right, you're right. Keep going, keep going. And and so when I look at a bot today, that these people that they create stuff, I don't know what you see, but I see a little 2-year-old. I see a 2-year-old man in trying to be in a race with me. I'm like, and I'm looking at that 2-year-old going, man, you're 25 years behind me, man, and you don't know what you don't know. You just simply don't know what you don't know. We do a rosary every night in our house. We say the rosary, and sometimes I'm not praying. So, I'm holding that rosary and I'm looking at all those beads, And the decades, right? You got 5 decades on a rosary, and I'm looking at each of the, you got 10 beads on each decade, right? And I'm thinking to myself, all that programming, all those things, if each one of those beads was more knowledge and more programming that went into the trader, things I learned. And as the years went by, 25 years, and I'm holding the rosary when I'm holding like this, and I'm thinking all that, and I'm thinking these other people with their bots, they just started. They're like 2 beads in. And I was talking to a guy last night. And he said, I was thinking of creating my own robotic trader. And I say, dude, I said, how old are you? He goes, 40. I said, do you realize in 25 years you'll be where I'm at today? Maybe if
Right.
you get lucky. If you're
Yep.
working with a lot of people, because you gotta work with a lot of people because the people are educating you. And it's the users, it's the clients that I've had all these years for 25 years that were feeding me knowledge. You remember the first trader, Attila, had
Yep.
10 screens of things you could do. It had
Yep.
everything everybody wanted to do, you could program it. And I call it 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up because they were doing all kinds of outrageous things. And I was giving them the ability to do whatever they wanted to do. And it was that education. It wasn't everybody wasn't teaching me what to do. They were teaching me a lot more of what not to do. And
Mhm.
that's power in the auto trader because the auto trader knows how to counter all that damage, all those problems it sees. So all those beads on that rosary, I'm looking at that thinking, all the knowledge that I programmed into this trader. And then when you look at the trader, it looks so simple. You look at that screen. You look at it, where's all the drop down windows and all this stuff? It's like, get rid of it because you think that's good. It's not good because you're gonna spend years learning the hard way that it's not good. You're gonna learn that all that gambling doesn't work. Most of what works is the market is going up and down because that's all the market can do. There's the challenge. Now, see, that's the thing. You have to accept the fact that the market. Do you mind if I share my screen for a second, Edward?
Nope. Let me stop sharing. Let me give you
I'll take a drink of
shareability.
smart water here.
There you go. You're live.
Da da da. Like my spinach. Um, um, I'm gonna share my screen here for a second because I wanna this bucket in a well here really says it all because this is all the market can do. This is all a well can do. Let's put it that way. If it's water, the bucket can only do one thing in a bucket in a well. If it's water, it goes to the bottom and it gets the water at the bottom and then it sells it. And I mean, then it goes up and it dumps it out. The bucket can keep doing that forever. It'll pump billions of gallons of water as long as there's enough water in the well. And it'll just keep pumping forever. Okay? And nobody disputes that. The bucket can't stop halfway down. It can't go almost to the water and then go back up. It'll be an empty bucket. It's got to go all the way to the bottom. But the stock market and the crypto market, it goes up and down. You
No.
don't have to go all the way down and you don't have to go all the way up. Just pump money. Just buy and it goes up a little and you sell. Buy and sell. This will add up forever. You just keep pumping money forever. Don't even worry about the ones where it went lower. It's okay. See, this is another misconception. People worry about inventory. I'm like, don't worry about that inventory. The money is right here. The money is right here wherever it's pumping. Wherever the well is picking up where it's buying and then selling. Buying and selling because you see it's going into this bucket here all the money or whatever that thing's called. That's a bucket, right? Just a big bucket. And if the market jumps, if the price jumps, it'll sell off all that old inventory you were holding at a higher price. Don't even worry about it. Whether it's sitting up there and whether that money is sitting in cash or it's sitting in cryptos that you bought 2 years ago, it really doesn't matter. You're not doing anything with it anyway, because you're down here trading. Wherever the price goes, we go. And this is all the market is. So understand something about the crypto market. It's not doing anything more than what you're seeing right there. That represents any coin. They all are the same. All a price can do on a coin is go up and down. Did I say up and down? Down and up. That was weird. All right, up and down. It can only go up and down. That's all prices can do is they go up and down. That's all they do. There's no magic here. Don't look at fancy charts and look at all that stuff. Leave that to the AI. The AI can handle all that. I've got 27 indicators all in the AI. AI is pattern recognition, neural networks, and let that handle that. Let that worry about the ecosystem, the intraday, what's going on in the overall market, and that tells the software whether to take trades or hold off. Wait, don't take that yet. Don't buy more yet. That's handled by the AI, but the trader is handling the money. The trader is the one, the robotic trader is concentrating all of its efforts on following that price. Don't let that market breathe without giving you money. And down is good. Now there you got it. You should put that on a big poster in your house. Down is good. Down is good. You can't own enough crypto. Trump can't own enough crypto. He's got 7 billion. Watch him turn that 7 billion into 70 billion, because he understands that what's going on with the market. And I'll tell you what's going on with the market right now. The whales, I mentioned the Hunt brothers earlier. The whales, the wealthy, are trying to accumulate all the shares. They get it. They get it. They know that all these prices are ridiculously low because they're the ones that push the prices into the ground. They're the ones that push the prices down 90% over the last 4 years. And watch when that market turns up and they got all that inventory they bought and they start selling it all off. And us too. We've got a ton of inventory up here. And when that market starts to take off, we're going to sell off all that inventory that we bought while it was going down, that we were holding. But on top of that, while it's going up, it's not going to go straight up. It's going to wiggle. It's going to go up and down. So in addition to selling off the inventory while it's going up that we bought while it was going down, we're also going to be buying more and selling it, buying more and selling it, buying more and selling it while it's going higher. So we're basically double dipping. We've got the market trapped. We've got them trapped at the bottom right now. They've literally pushed these coins down over 90%. They're trapped down here at the bottom. And every time they try to go, they really can't, they've got to break out. And every time you see them try to break out, we take money because we keep buying. We got them trapped at the bottom. And if it jumps 30%, we sell all this inventory off at once. A whole bunch of inventory. So you can't have enough inventory. It's what I always say about a 7-Eleven. If you only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf, and I know a whole bunch of you can answer that in your chat, I'm going to go ahead and wait a few seconds and let other people type into the chat. What happens if you only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a school bus full of kids pulls in? How many bags are you going to sell?
You lose.
Somebody say you lose?
Yeah,
Everybody's
Cindy.
answering already. One. Because that's all you got on the shelf. Can't sell what you don't own. You gotta have inventory. If you don't have inventory, you're not even in the game. Sell
Jason
each
said
chip.
that's unless you break open the bag and sell each chip individually.
Yeah. My mother used to tell me years ago, I mean, many years ago, I mean, before I was born, I guess, she said she had like a stand, where they were selling slices of watermelon for 10 cents a slice. And she said, we were slicing that watermelon so thin you could see through it. That was crazy. Anyways, yeah, that must have been a heck of a time to live. So anyone can make money in a straight up market. That when I say that, I'm talking about the buy and holders out there who just load up And that's what happens. That's another psychological thing. It's we all think differently. Most people, when they buy crypto or stocks, they want it to go straight up. And they're wrong about, or in their mind, it's going to go straight up. So, if you went and bought a silver dollar, why'd you buy it? You want it to go straight up. That's what you're thinking. The robotic trader is the opposite. The robotic trader is saying, yeah, I want it to go up too, and I'm going to sell it. Nothing to think about there. You don't need any intelligence to know that I bought it here and it went up. Sell it. But what if it goes down 90%? Am I still in the game? Or am I buy and hold or holding it up there and the price is now down here? Because then it's wiggling here, but you don't have any money because you bought it all. You put all your money in up at the top. So you're out of the game. You're not even in the game. You're literally, I mean, if you bought ACH, Alchemy Pay, you can look it up, ACH. It was 12 cents 4 years ago. It's sitting at 1.3 cents now, something like that. 1.3 cents, under 2 cents. I love it. Absolutely. I took a fortune on that coin while it was wiggling all the way to the bottom, taking over 300,000 in profits. And my inventory that I bought on the way down is down 100,000. So I'm sitting on $100,000 of negative inventory, but I've already taken 350,000 in profits already in this bucket here, and they can never take that back from me. And I've got them trapped at the bottom now, and I own, no matter, anytime they try to move, they got to keep giving me money. So I got them trapped for the rest of my life. Don't I feel, you look at me, I am the happiest person in the world. I think, I just think this is such an insult to humanity. I love it. And
Dastardly Dan.
they can't, they can't, what was that, Edward?
Dastardly Dan.
Oh,
Diabolical dastardly Dan.
they can't stop. They can't stop us from doing what we're doing. We're not violating any laws. I mean, it's the greatest invention ever. The stock market, you hear me say it all the time. It's an insult to humanity. But as long as, 99% of society thinks they don't get it. You can't even tell this to people. If any of you understand what I'm talking about, then thank you. It's amazing because 99% of the people you talk to out there don't see the obvious. They actually think the market is gambling. I'm like, you don't even have to gamble. It's just free money till you die, man. But it's a challenge to try to educate the public. I don't know where you needed to start the education. Because I'm thinking, when did my education start on this whole notion of how this works? I remember my brother we move around a lot in Chicago when I was younger, and one time we lived right across the street from a Texaco gas station, and my older brother, he got a job in the gas station. I was hanging out in the gas station, and and I was just hanging out there, and I saw a Farmer's Almanac. They were actually, I don't know if they were giving those away or selling them or what, but I picked it up and I'm like going through the pages, and I'm like, they can predict the weather based on history, based on patterns in history. I'm like, it changed my life forever. It literally twisted my brain and said, Dear Lord. And I've been observing it my whole life. I literally have been doing this. What I'm doing right now, what I've automated, I've been doing for years and years. I've been thinking about it nonstop. The whole time I was in the Navy, I was thinking about this the whole time. I wrote programs to prove things, to prove everything. Craps, roulette, it's all free money when you do proper money management. And you don't need to gamble. Even in a casino, you don't need to gamble. It's just free money. The problem is, who wants to stand there at a roulette wheel, knowing when is it time to bet more? You don't want to do that. But I proved it already with programs for many years. I've been proving that it's all just money management. And without the money management, you're dead. And some people try to they just they get excited, like someone heard about XRP, and XRP is this greatest thing, and then they took, and just take every dollar they have and threw it all into XRP. And then they call me and say, how come my auto trader's not buying more coins? I'm like, there's no money in there. You manually bought all, you moved away from what the auto trader is designed to do, and you threw it all in XRP. And I feel bad because they did that when it was over $3, and now it's down in the 260 range. See, it's like, now what are you doing? You just ruined everything, you know? The auto trader is doing the money management. It knows exactly how many shares to buy, how much to invest at any given time. And the software's doing all that, and that's 25 years of development. So let's see. Anyone can make money in a straight up market. That's what we thought in 2000. How about the 90s? I didn't know anything about the market. I was just in all the tech stocks, and I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't looking at anything. Even though I knew I had all this knowledge, I didn't do it. I was just in all the tech stocks, and they were all going up. So there was nothing to think about. You didn't have to have an auto trader in the 90s. But then what happened in 2000, we all got hammered. We got our butts handed to us. And so that's when I started automating the market. And I started learning from everyone. I learned from all you guys. I learned from everyone. People were telling me what they wanted to do, what their strategy was, and then I automated it. And that's why, as Attila said, when you downloaded that software onto your computer, you couldn't even check your email. Because that program was so big that it was using up all the computing resources on your laptop. And so that's why I rewrote the software in 2000 for the stock market. And then in 2021 I automated the crypto market for the first time. And as Attila said, as soon as I turned on that crypto trader, I said, "Oh my God. You see how I held my hand up there? I think that's exactly what I did." I said, "Oh my God." When I saw the way those prices were moving, I'm like, man, I've been looking for coins or stocks that would move like this for 20 years. Where are the stocks that'll just, will you move, for crying out loud? You're sitting there. It's like, I mean, they weren't even moving, you know? A coin, a stock will just, stock prices move like this. Crypto prices move like this. They jump around. Let me go to another screen here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I mean, just typical. I make this stuff up on the fly. But here, I mean, there's a typical crypto chart. Look at the prices. Jump down. Look at all the way down here. It just jumps down and then up and down and up. It's not a wave. It's just up, down, up, down. I love it. This is gold. Look at this. This is gold to an auto trader, man. If you don't have an auto trader, you really need therapy. I don't know what to say, but this is my point. You know, I don't want to say that, you know, but I don't know what else to say about it because I've been just doing this for so long and I don't understand why everybody in the world doesn't have an auto trader. People say to me, well, what if everyone did? It wouldn't hurt anything. Your auto trader, when that coin dropped 30% right here, it loaded up at the bottom. There's nothing to think about. Who did it buy from? The people that were panicking because the market crashed. And then what did they do? They sold out at a loss. But the auto trade, if you were running a Go Baby Trade auto trader, you didn't sell out on that drop. You bought more on that drop at the bottom. And then all you did is over the next few days, just sell it all off. And plus you even bought more while it was going up, you know, up and down here. Unlike on that dip right there, you know, it bought more there. And then sold that off as it went higher. And then it dropped again. And then it went up again. And it's like, this is all free money. This is just all, you know, this is all just free money. Just, what do I call it? An insult to humanity. There's no gambling in this system. This is not a gambling system. Now, those other bots that are out there, they're just gambling. They're throwing all your money into some coins, and they're praying that it goes up. And then when it doesn't go up, they have all kinds of excuses of why they lost all your money. I've watched other systems lose millions of dollars of people's money over the years. And, you know, and I feel bad. Plus, I hear the stories. I talk to so many people. Okay, so
good time to mention that you program the system to never sell at a loss. Ever.
Right. The system will never sell at a loss, right? You'll hold your inventory. No different than if you bought silver dollars and threw them in a drawer. If the price is lower, you're not selling your silver dollars. You're just sitting on them. So you watch silver go all the way down to $10.50, and then watch it go up to 16. Then it goes back down to 11, and then it goes up to 22, and then it comes back down to 15 and goes back up to 22 again. But if you're sitting on silver dollars in a drawer, all that wiggling, you didn't make any money. Now, over the last 6 months, you got lucky and silver took off. All right, finally, after 25 years, I've been watching silver, and finally, it finally made a move. And where's it at now? Let me take a quick look. At 43, okay. We have some people have robotic traders they've been trading for the last 15 years silver, just SLV. One symbol, SLV. And all those wiggles I talked about, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. They've been making a fortune. They have rolled their money over multiple times. And whereas, like right now, silver's at 43. And if you're sitting on silver, I don't know why you'd be sitting on it at this point. I mean, unless you're hoping and praying that it's going to go higher, but then there you go, you're just gambling. And then what are you going to do with it anyways eventually? Leave it to somebody, and what are they going to do with it? Go out and buy a car? Because if you're just leaving it to kids that don't know what to do with it, as soon as you give it to them, what are they going to do with it? What do you expect them to do with it? Other than just dump it. And you hope they don't just walk into a store with a silver dollar and treat it like it's $1 and spend it. But I watched people do that in my own family when I was younger. So, and you notice in my trader, there's no, where are all the drop-down menus and where's all the fancy stuff you can do? All right, here it is, one screen. You put in your symbols, it knows how much money you have. It allocates to each coin so much money. This is the funds used. This is the funds remaining. You tell it to add as price declines, add as the price goes lower, but the software is smart enough also to add as the price goes higher, because you don't want a coin to run away from you. If you sold off all your inventory and you don't have any inventory, the software is going to buy more at higher as it's going higher, but then it's still going to sell that off if it goes higher. So then if it buys more at a higher price and then the price goes lower, it can buy more. And then you're always got the market trapped. They don't know what the heck's going on. Even the exchange doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what you're doing. All they see is orders coming at them. Buy this, sell this. Go Baby Trade never touches your money or your coins. It's all in Coinbase or Kraken in your exchange. Go Baby Trade has no ability to transfer your money or transfer your coins. It can only send buy and sell orders, and that's it. And so even the exchange doesn't know what you're doing. They just see orders coming at it. So you're telling it, allow it to add to decliners, allow it to add to advancers, and allow it to sell. Now, some people put coins in there like Bitcoin, like say Bitcoin. And then they'll say, allow it to buy on the advancer and decline as it's going up and down, but don't let it sell, just accumulate. You can do that. But now Bitcoin hasn't been moving a lot, so you've already bought in the range that it's in, like say from 120 to 110, it's already been going up and down in that range. You've already done all your buying. You're sitting on the coin already in those prices. The auto trader is not going to buy more at the same price that already bought it at. So you're basically just sitting there. That one line, that Bitcoin, give it some money. Let's give it some money. There, it's got money. So I just told it, use $89,000 to trade that coin. And so it hasn't used any yet, so it's still got 89,000. So it can buy and sell on the advancer and decline as it's wiggling around, but it's not going to sell it. It's just building inventory. It's a way to dollar cost average properly. As opposed to some people think dollar cost average means just every month throw more money into the same coin. But if you're just dumping it in every month at the same price, that makes no sense. because you want to reserve that money for when the price goes lower. Or if the price goes higher, you want to have more reserve money. So if you are putting money in every month, let the software allocate the funds instead of you doing it manually. So we only have one screen of settings. That's there where you put the coins in, and then these settings right here where you can set your profit goal, and you tell it to use AI. It's already got AI. Well, let's just quickly whip through these. Enable AI. It's either enabled or disabled.
Hey, Ed,
AI
can
is
I
always
just, Ed,
enabled.
can I interrupt and just make sure that everybody understands that nobody needs to set anything anyhow,
Oh,
anyway. These are
right.
preset.
It's
These are
all set
preset.
already.
They're optimized over from 25 years of usage from the stock trader and the crypto trader. This is all preset. You don't need to go in here and touch these. He's just
Yeah.
showing you what they mean right now.
Yeah. Actually, we shouldn't waste time on that. Just put in your symbols
Yeah,
and away you go. Nothing to think
yeah,
about. And then
yeah.
connect it to the exchange with your API, and we help you do that. We have videos that do it. Attila did a video, a nice video. A lot of people use that. We have written instructions step by step. It's so easy, and we do it. I
Plus,
even connect to people's computers. It takes me 5 minutes.
plus, on top of that, on top of what you're just saying, everybody needs to understand Edward and I are basically the educational and support system for Crypto Casey as it applies to the Go Baby trade. Okay. So, like Ed said, we have videos. If you want to watch my videos on how to go live with your API connection to Coinbase or Kraken, just watch them. But if you still need help, Edward is putting into the chat our support emails where you could email me or Edward at
Here,
support at RCT Marketing Systems. It's about to go in the chat, and we'll do a little Zoom, and we'll have you trading live in less than 5 minutes. I promise.
yeah.
It's that
Well, look at
simple.
this video.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
video right here, it's right on the website. I clicked on videos, connect trader to Coinbase. And this
right.
one on the bottom left, connect trader to Kraken.
Yeah, there you
Real
go.
easy. It's super easy. And emails, even if you send emails, if you send email to like us, support at gobabytrade.com, we answer all emails. We don't, any of you know that we don't just blow off your email. If you send email to Coinbase and some of these other brokers and all that, sometimes they'll take weeks to get back with you. We are on it every day because we
True
don't
that.
want email. We don't want we don't leave anyone hanging, and people who know nothing. And believe me, I hear a lot of people tell me that I don't know anything. I don't know what a blockchain is. I don't know what a crypto is. I don't know anything.
Doesn't matter.
The software is the one doing all the work. You
Yeah,
don't need to know anything. I don't touch it. As a matter of fact, I don't even look at my trader unless the market, unless I'm doing a webinar. And we can start over here on the left, live trading.
yep,
This account started with a couple 100,000. And lately, the market's been going down, 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 down. And I'm watching the whales. Like I said, they're accumulating all the shares because when you're dumping, if you're dumping your coins, people are panicking and getting out. And if they're dumping their coins, who do you think's buying while the market's going lower and lower and lower? I mean, the auto traders are adding, but we're also selling off as it wiggles around. You can see down here. This is basically how it works. If I go back to the beginning here, if I scroll down to August, this is 24th, 23rd of 24 to 24, you can see it's selling. Anytime you see a price right here in the profit loss, that's selling. This one line here is a buy. You can see over here on the left, it says close, and then there's an open. Okay, this says AI got involved in these trades. If there's an AI at the message, see, like here, profit goal reached, there's no AI. This one here under it, down here, says profit goal reached, and it has AIs in the description. That means the software said, I want to sell this coin, it's profitable. It calls the AI. AI is actually a separate program. It's way too big. It runs on multiple servers all by itself. There's no way you can put that on one machine. So that it's like two-factor authentication. The AI is constantly generating these numbers. I'm 95% sure it's going to go higher. I'm 30% sure it's going to go higher. I'm 10% sure it's going to go lower. I'm 90% sure it's going to go lower. And it's constantly throwing these numbers out. Every second, it's just constantly throwing these numbers. The auto trader is not looking at those numbers. It doesn't care. The auto trader says, I live by money management. Because money management is the key. If I violate the money management, then I could use up all my money up here and not have any money at the bottom. The auto trader makes sure you always have money, no matter where the price goes, so that you're always trading. So it calls the AI only when it's ready. When the auto trader says price is going higher, I want to take profit, it calls the AI and says, what do you think? AI comes back and says, I'm 98% sure it's going to go higher in the next few minutes. Software says, okay, I'll hold off on it. I won't take the profit yet. That's what that is. Or in this case here, the robotic trader said, I see profit, I'm going to take it. And the auto trader says, I don't see it going higher. Probably it was getting ready to actually go lower because look how much money it took. Only $8 on that trade. So that's what happens. It only took $1.82 on that trade. Don't worry about it. You know why? Because all this selling adds up. In a couple of years, it added up to $353,000. That's what Attila, the other day you asked a few weeks ago, you said, look at all the money you took. And I said, I didn't take that.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. And you're like, what are you talking about? It's like, we don't talk about this. You know, folks, we don't talk before a webinar and talk about anything. We probably don't even talk for a whole week, you know, and then we do a webinar and I just threw that out. I said, I didn't, because when you said, look at all the money it took, at that instant in time, as soon as you said that, I'm looking at that, I'm saying, I didn't take that. I took this and I took all this and it added up to that. Because as the price is going higher, just like a 7-Eleven, you're stocked. These here, anytime you open, call that stocking the shelf. And then here, only one person came in. It must have been raining that day. Nobody came out, so only one person came in and bought something. And then you're refilling the shelves again for a few days. And then sometimes there are days where you're just buying and you're not selling. But then everything you bought, you're selling. You're just always having buy and sell days. You're having crazy times where you're just selling look at
So
918. Look at all that. All that just straight up selling, selling, selling. And you
so
just keep going.
for
It's
for
forever.
sim for simplicity's sake, let's say you're showing the method behind your madness here, which is beautiful. But if somebody met me on an elevator and they said, Attila, you got 20 seconds to tell me how this trader works, it's simple. When your coin goes up 3%, it'll take a profit unless the AI kicks in and it's able to take more profit. Conversely, on the way down, if it goes down at least 3% or more, depending on if the AI kicks in and says, wait, it's going lower, you could buy more for cheaper, or you could buy it cheaper, then it'll wait. That's it. That's literally how this thing works. Now, there are 3 million lines of code programmed by Mr. Barsano, 3 million plus lines of code, and he's adding more all the time. So behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff going on. But
Oh
if you
yeah.
want to
And look what
simple, yeah,
happens. Look what happens on a big up day here. January 26th this
wow,
year,
wow.
Alchemy Pay took off. It went from 2.2 cents to 5.6 cents. From 2 cents to almost 6 cents in 5 days. Think of all that inventory that it sold. And here it is. All that inventory. 2,000 on that one, 2,200, 2,000 on that one, 1,700 on that one, 1,200 on that one. It was just all these closes. Look at all this free money. All that inventory I was sitting on with ACH. And then the beauty is, while it was going up, it wiggled. So then it was buying more. It was buying more while it was going up. And then we sold that inventory off. Just it's just such an insult to humanity. It's so easy, you
So
know.
Ed,
I made it super easy for everybody, man. All you got to do is sign up, get your auto trader, and just it's the ultimate savings account. Let's call it, and that's what I call it because it's not like a bank account where you can put 100,000 in a bank, and then it's just invisible to you. It's gone. Then you sit around and wait for a bank statement to come in, and do you ever look at the interest? Oh, look, I made 8 cents. What a joke. When you can be turning inventory here, man, automatically. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, the software, even Crypto Casey, she said she would be selling this for 25,000 a year to use this auto trader. I mean, I'm giving it away basically, really.
I want to touch on a couple of things. To
She
both
said it's worth
Attila,
that much.
yeah,
She didn't
Attila,
say
and
she would sell it for that
right,
much.
uh, the two of you. So early on, well, Attila just talked about at the beginning what stop and realize what this gentleman has brought to the marketplace, and then just recently said over folks, it's over 3 million lines of code. Ed, I thought about you yesterday. I was on Facebook and
Oh, that
somebody
was
sent me a
nice.
message
What were you
saying that
thinking?
pardon me? What?
What were you thinking about me?
Oh, no. Here, it'll jump out. So somebody said, "Hey, how does Go Baby Trade compare to this blah 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 whatever?" It started with a K. Supposedly automated trading system, doesn't connect to anything, but you watch the video and the guy comes on and he says, "It has over. How can you not buy this thing because it has over 10,000 lines of code?" And I thought, 10,000? Wait a minute. We have
I
millions
have
of
two
lines of code.
million lines of code and racks of servers. What
Yep.
I've done over the years is this, I sold off the old system that was downloadable software because it was just too big for people's computers. Plus, all the software, all the code, the AI and everything had to be in the code for you to download. Well, the thing is, it's all way too big. It grew to way too big for that. So now it's on my servers, and what's cool is, things just keep getting better and better. It's God's will, It's just he gives me what I need at the right time, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. And what happens is your auto trader is a single executable. Each person's robotic trader is an executable by itself on my servers. But it the, but the auto trader only has to look at the prices and figure out profits. That's all it's doing. The other servers, other servers are doing the data feeds and the AI and just doing all these other calculations. It's all being handled by other servers that are feeding your auto trader. So the auto trader doesn't have anything to think about. Plus, because it's on an intranet, and some of you may know what I'm talking about by that. It's on a local intranet. It's in its own ecosystem. It doesn't have to go out to the World Wide Web, out to thousands of auto traders running all over the world. Picture if your auto trader is running in, I don't know, Thailand, and I've got clients in Thailand. I've got clients in most countries. And and think if you were running an auto trader by itself on your computer, where it's going to get its information, it's got to go over the World Wide Web to go and get all this info. And try to crunch on your little bitty computer. I've got high-end servers with multiple CPU chips in every one of them. Everything about it is high end. And and it's just feeding your auto trader, and your auto trader is just sitting there running like the ever ready bunny rabbit, man. And you can't get that. Other people creating these systems, they are where I was in 2000 or 2001. I'm like, man, I look at them like they're infants crawling on the floor. I mean, they're so far, and I'm not being arrogant here. I'm just speaking reality because I
That's
know what
fact.
it takes because you don't know what you don't know is the problem. Where I'm at today, I was not. These robotic traders were not where they're at today. Even when Attila, when you first came on in 2012, by what I've created now, we are light years ahead of where we were back
Yeah,
then.
without a doubt.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and smarter.
Hey, can you touch
Like,
on the $1 billion report now?
sure, the
Yeah.
$1 billion report. This is you can go to the website,
You know, you're going to have to rename it, Ed.
the $1 billion report. Just call it that.
Hey, by the way, everybody, keep it here, Ed. Keep it here for a moment. I want everybody to know who does not own the trader yet that before you even pull the trigger, you have a big advantage to DYOR. DYOR means do your own research because on the top there,
See what I just typed in?
yeah, that's
Crypto
Crypto Casey's
Casey's.
link. Yep,
There's your link.
Yep. Let me post that for you.
So if you
Anybody
Yeah.
else?
you hit that link,
yep,
it automatically puts a code in there. So
yep.
it lowered your price by $1,000 to $34.99 from the regular website price of $44.99.
That's a 3-year license. Yep. So,
It's a 3-year license. We don't have monthly subscriptions. We don't have there's no purpose in a free trial. You're wasting your time. People who want monthly, oh, give me a month of free trial, you're not going to learn anything because it's up to the market. Is the market going to be going down a lot and you're going to be buying a lot? In that case, you might not even feel like the thing works. You're saying, oh, all it's doing is the market's down and all I'm doing, this thing isn't making money. You don't realize that it's setting you up for the kill. It is setting you up, it's trapping the market. It's actually working like a dog behind the scenes and you don't
right.
realize it. And then when the market jumps, all of a sudden you start selling off all that inventory. That's why I
Yeah.
try to tell people get started, don't wait. And I'm not a salesman, and I always feel like I have to sound like a salesman, but the reality is if you're waiting for the market to go up before you jump in, you have no inventory. You really want to build inventory that you're going to sell because that's what's going to make you rich, not
Yep.
just buying it once and selling. All right, you sold one bag of potato chips. Great. You need to fill that shelf up with 20 bags, with 50 bags, and so that when the prices do jump, you're selling a lot.
But before you go to the $1 billion report, I just want to make sure everybody saw that they could do their own research here with, there's like plenty of videos here. There's the top traders report. There's the trade counts, which we're about to go to. It's called, the other name for it is the $1 billion report. So there's some strong, strong resources here that you could use to do your homework before you even make a decision on the final. And
Right.
the reason it's just such a silly thing to ask, I'm not blaming anybody, but it's a really silly statement to say, can I try this for a month or two to see if it works? Guess what? The test is over. This has
We're
been
done with
working
it. Yeah.
25 years. There's no reason to test anything. It's not, will it work? Can it work? Does it work? It flat out works. We know.
There's no
25-year
question.
track record.
And not only that, there's no like monthly subscriptions and all. You almost have to hire somebody to babysit that. When you have thousands of people and you have monthly subscriptions, you got 150 credit cards expiring every month. And you're just, hey, your credit card didn't go through and it becomes a whole chore in itself babysitting the credit card
Yep,
process.
we get
It's
it.
like it's not worth it. You pay one time, you own the software for 3 years, then you don't even think about that anymore, and you concentrate on the software, and you concentrate on the money it's making. And here's the top. So this is the highest trade count report. That's what I called it. Edward calls it the $1 billion. You used to call it the $1 million
When I
report.
started out, because when I first saw it, when you released it, I don't know, 9 months ago, I'm like, this is worth $1 million. But no, because, and I changed it to $1 billion because if you look at this, if you look at the opportunity, this is a life trader. This is like saying, this is based on fact, and I can show an example at the end, is that this allows you to put this machine to work for you. And based on fact, now future performance is not indicative to past results. But if you think the market's going to go down another 90%, I don't think so. So past results are based on a market that has been forced down by the big people that want to buy it all up, that has forced it down 90%. And it's made on average 5x its money since it's been released. So it's like saying, if I said to you, here's a simple approach. If I said, give me $1 and in 3 years I'll give you $3, what would your answer be?
How
Let
many
me refine
dollars
that.
can I give you?
Let me refine that question. If I told you that you could give me as many dollars that you wanted to, and the machine would turn 3x that, how many dollars would you give me?
Well, you know what's interesting?
Put it in the chat. How many? If the machine goes, give me $1 and I'll give you 3. How many dollars are you going to put in there? Somebody put it in the chat. My answer is all of them, and that's what I do. We talk about this. We educate you on it. But what did you say when you were back in Microsoft? We eat our own dog food, right? I can't represent.
Steve Ballmer said that.
Right, I can't.
And believe me, when Windows first came out, it was dog food.
everybody knows.
I cried when they said no
Everybody
more
knows.
programming in OS2. I
Yeah,
loved OS2. I loved OS2. And then he said, I want everyone programming nothing but Windows. I'm like, no way. Please, no, don't torture me. I mean, OS2 was great, man. And we handed that to IBM, and then Windows 3 took off. Windows 3.
Windows 3. My point being, if you have something that just makes money in your sleep, how are you not going to own it?
Right. Well, for sure. Every time, I was just thinking when you said that, when I first moved to Arizona, and I turned on the electric, right, in my new house. This is back in 95. I moved from Washington after I left Microsoft. I moved to Arizona to get away from that rain in Washington State. And the electric company said, we want you to deposit, more money in, just like ahead of time. Because I guess our electric is like $1,000 a month, right? So I guess they wanted to have a bucket of money for multiple months. I don't know. And she said, we'll give you 10% interest for that money. And I said exactly what you just said, Edward. I said, how much can I give you? I'll give you $1 million. I said, I'll give you $1 million right now. And she said, no, I can't accept more than 10,000. I'm like, you suck, man. If you want to give me 10% interest on my money, I'll give you $1 million right now. And she said, no, I can't do that. It just reminded me of that. So this report here, let's talk about the report for a minute. And again, I'm going to take us back to a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart. And I've never owned a 7-Eleven, but the trader runs just like a 7-Eleven. You stock the shelves and you sell the inventory. It's not rocket science. And you always have to have the shelves full, and you never want empty shelves, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, thousands of people walk past an empty shelf. That makes no sense. Put some smart water on that shelf or something. Don't leave this. There should never be an empty shelf in a store. And if there is an empty shelf, it's because the owner of that store is not in there, because the workers don't care about empty shelves. But a good store should not have empty shelves. And just like us, we should always have inventory to sell, and lots of it. In a good store like a Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, what's that other one I go to all the time? Sprouts. They never have empty shelves in those stores. They are packed. And as a matter of fact, the workers in the store are actually filling the shelves while we're shopping. As crowded as that store is, people coming from both sides of the aisle shopping, there's actually workers in the middle of the aisle actually putting stuff on the shelves, restocking it, because we're emptying those shelves as fast as, we're emptying them, and they're putting the stuff right away, refilling it, keeping the shelves full. So that's important, and robotic trader is the same way. You always have to have inventory to sell, and you can't own enough inventory. The more you have, the better. So if I was opening up a 7-Eleven for the first time, I would have the space and the parking and the lighting and the shelves and the coolers for the drinks and everything. You'd have all that in there, but you don't have any inventory yet. And I don't want to deal with 1,000 different vendors. So I'm just guessing that there's going to be a distributor. And if I'm sitting down with the distributor at the beginning of when I first start to open my 7-Eleven, he's going to bring up a report similar to this. I'm just guessing. I've never done it, but it makes sense. And he could go alphabetically. Here's all the products that we have. Wow, what is that? What is that there? Well, click on it. Let's click on AAVE. And it takes you right to the website and you can see what the product is. Right? So it's the same way here. You can see what the company is. What do they do? If you wanna look at it and figure out what they do, you can click on it. Or let's sort it by previous year's trades. Let's find the most active, the product you're gonna sell the most of. Let's put those at the top. 1,239 trades, closed trades, profitable trades. And this is new, you know, from a few weeks ago. The 3-month, how many trades it did in the last 3 months, how many in the last 6 months, how many in the last 9 months, and how many in the last year. Then I can go over to the right here. Here it shows monthly, how many sales per month on average, which exchange it's at. Like this one here is only at Coinbase. It's not at Kraken. You got to go down to the third one to get one at Kraken. Coinbase and Kraken. You can see those. But then if you go over more to the right, you can see monthly how many it did. Let's start here. July, it did 41. August, it did 21. These are closed profitable trades. Every closed trade is a profitable trade. And if I add up there's July, August, and September. If I add up these three, it gives me that 84. If I go back and look at the last 6 months, it'll give me that 272. If I go back and look at the last 12 months, I'm going to get that 1239. And then I'm going to look at the number 2 coin, the most active coin. So I picture like a SPA with 1,233 trades in the last 12 months. Now, these 2 coins have been battling it out for the number 1 and number 2 spots for the last, 6 or 7 months. They've been just sitting there. They just keep delivering, keep giving, pumping money. Now, these are the biggest movers at the top. These would be my Monster drink, my vapes, potato chips, candy bars, all the fast-moving stuff. If you ever go to a 7-Eleven, say, look at when the people are checking out, what are they buying? And you can see the fast-moving items. And vapes are a big one in a lot of places. I mean, I was in line once, and I think I told this story last week, but I was in line in a store, in a 7-Eleven. I think it was a 7-Eleven or a Quick Mart, something like that. And there was like 5 or 6 people ahead of me, and each person was buying this one thing. I don't remember what it was called, but I'm like, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, is it candy? Because that person says, oh, I want that. And then the next person in line steps up and says, oh, I want that same thing. And I'm like, what is it? So when I finally got up there, I'm a very nosy person. I'm like, what is this? What is this that everybody seems to be buying? He goes, vapes. I never even heard of a vape. So anyways, the big moving items are at the top. And if I want to see the junk, like, I mean, obviously you're not going to have every item in the store. You're not going to sell every item because it's only a 7-Eleven. You can't put 1,000 items in there or too many items. But if I go to the bottom, what have I got down here? Oh, Band-Aids, paper towels, iodine, stuff you hardly even sell. So if I'm running an auto trader, do I want to trade the junk at the bottom of this report? Do I want to trade this line 367, TRX? 142 trades last year? 6 trades on average a month? This is just a junk coin. I don't want to load up my auto trader with junky things that don't move. But I can go to the top and say, hey, these are the top movers. I opened up a trader just a couple months ago and I threw 150,000 in it. And I just grabbed the top 5 coins that were on the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That were all available at Coinbase. And all the top 5 were. Boom. I just grabbed all those and said, I'm going to just trade them. I got one auto trader. That's all it trades. and it's building inventory now. It's right now the market's been going down, and I'm like, I'm loving it. It's building inventory. And L3, how about L3? It jumped 50% in one day about 6 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago. It jumped 50% up, and then like an hour later, it dropped 50%. It came all the way back down. So it was like free money. It's like it went up, it came right back down to where it was. Started the day at one price, ended the day at the same price, but in the meantime, it jumped all the way up there and it came back down. When it went up there, it sold all the inventory off that I had that was below that price. Anything that was profitable. So that's what the auto trader does. It just keeps sweeping profits off the table for the rest of your life. This could be called a life trader. Once you get an auto trader, it changes your life forever. You never look at the market the same again, ever. You never look at the market the same. You are deprogrammed. And that's an important thing because millions of people aren't deprogrammed. When I'm sitting in a Quest Diagnostics, you know, that blood work place, and everybody's sitting in there waiting like they're waiting to be executed or something, I don't understand it. They're not talking, they're just sitting in the waiting room. And then I talk just like this. I go, hey, anybody want to talk crypto? I throw that out there like that, sincerely. Hey, anybody want to talk crypto? And man, the room, they start looking at the floor, the walls. They start looking at, it's like, what did that guy just say? Did he say, anybody want to take a hit of acid? I mean, what did you think I said? I just said, anybody want to talk crypto? And they all freaked out. Last time I did it, like a month ago, everybody started laughing when I said it, you know, and then I laughed along with them like it was all a big joke. And I'm like, wow, you guys are like, psh. And but that's a survey. And you guys ought to try it. And what you know what you're going to find out? Most people don't have a clue. They're not even in the game. And I'm like, that's why I say I think of the Hunt brothers trying to corner the silver market. And I'm looking at the wealthy over the last 4 years, what they've been doing, and especially what they've been doing over the last 5, 6 months. They've been driving these coins into the ground. And then I get the feedback because I get the emails and the text messages and the phone messages and people saying, I want to just, you know, get, what do I do with all this inventory that's underwater, you know? And I'm like, that's gold, man. You can't own enough inventory. I am letting my auto trader buy more and more and more on. You want to go lower? I'm the opposite of Hillary Clinton. When she says, when they go low, we go high. I say no. When they go low, we go low, and when they go high, we go high. Wherever that price goes, we go. You want to go down lower, like these here? Buy, 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 buy. It's like thank you, because it's just
So, Ed, it just dawned on me. I forgot to tell you this as well. Thinking about you again. Last Friday, guess where I
man. You
was?
think about me too much,
Get,
man.
guess where I
Trying to
was?
scare me.
I was in Quest Diagnostics getting
Oh
a
no way, really?
really comprehensive panel. I've got a new doctor and
Mm-hmm.
young lady moved from Alaska. She was the phlebotomist, the one actually taking the blood. And so she's like, well, what do you do? I said, well, what do you know about crypto? Tell me about crypto. She goes, I've heard this stuff, but I don't know why. I said, how old are you? And you know, I wouldn't normally ask a young lady her age. And she said, well, I'm 24. I just moved here from Alaska. I said, if you want to retire early, ask me about crypto. And she goes, great. How can I learn? I said, here's the webinar. Come join us anytime. I'm right in your backyard. Call me, send me a note, and I'll show you the way. So, yes, everybody
You'll
that's
never
out
get
there.
that. You'll never get that call, by the way. I
Why?
said you'll never get that call. They
Why?
don't. You know, sometimes I'm talking to someone in line or at a store, I'm always talking about crypto. And not because I'm trying to sell auto traders or anything. As a matter of fact, if we're talking for a little bit while we're in line and they never mention is there a website or anything? Can you give me any information? Then I don't give it. If they don't say, hey, is there, I don't mention Go Baby Trade. If they don't say anything to me, if they don't come back, I figure, well, they weren't, then, I was only taking a survey anyway, Like I'll walk up in a UPS, Amazon's really great. When you buy something from Amazon, it's easy to return. You just take it to UPS and just drop it off, scan that, they take it, they box it, they package it, they ship it back. That's what I love about Amazon. But anyways, as I'm walking up, I say, "So, how'd your crypto do? How's your crypto doing?" Stuff like that, and just like a survey. And they always come back with, like something, like what's a crypto, or usually it's what's a crypto, or I don't know anything about cryptos, or I got to read up more about cryptos. I got to study up on it more. It's just like the stock market anyway. It's just numbers going up and down. But they think it's this mysterious thing, because they've been hearing all this negative lies on the internet. People who don't know anything preach like they do and tell you, oh, it's not real. It's easy to talk like a big shot and tell everybody that cryptos are garbage while the market's going down. But watch when they shut up when it's going up.
Ed, let me say
Because
something
that
to
that
that.
changes the whole game. But it's easy to be a pessimist when
Let me
things
say
are going
something to
down.
that because I've been a student of the game for the last 5 years, as everybody knows, 5 years plus. When we had the crypto winter, which lasted about 3 years, and really, we're still not technically in the bull market yet. When we're in a bull
No, we're
market,
not.
everybody will know we're in a bull market. Trust me, because people's heads are going to be rotating like The Exorcist. It's going to be something never seen before. Just wait. But what people don't understand is even when the market's down, these companies that have this disruptive technology, they do not at all stop innovating. It's full speed ahead. They
Oh
just
yeah.
they just keep doing what they do. It's almost like if you were at Microsoft for 9 years and Microsoft stock went down for 6 months, you didn't stop programming like you were programming all along, right? It's just
No, but I was a little sad.
no, because well, you had a heck of a lot of stock. Let's face
No,
it.
but you're right. You don't
Yeah,
stop. And
yeah,
while everything's going down, those companies have not slowed down. The
no,
cryptos,
no.
the companies in the crypto market, they're going gangbusters,
Full
man.
speed
They
ahead.
are taking over the world.
Yeah. So
And
Ed, bottom line is we got a lot of questions waiting for you today. Are you ready for some Q&A or did you want to finish up anything here?
does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff, And I don't
This is,
change, let me just make a few points. We don't
yeah,
change our coins every month because we want to build inventory. Like
yeah.
these coins here in my trader. I've been or this I don't change. I've been trading these coins for years, the same coins, and you just keep accumulating. You're at war. You're closing positions, and the only tool the whales have to scare you out is the price. They can try to push the price lower and lower and lower to scare you out because when the price goes down, your inventory goes down in value, right? Because you own all these shares. And so that when your inventory goes down, it pulls you're not taking profits fast enough to compensate for the down. Like here, I'm winning. I'm 150,000 up on ACH in this trader. I've got another trader that's up 350, and it's down 100,000 in its open positions. But this one is it's up. I've taken 150,000 in profits, and I'm down 71,000 in my open inventory. This one here, I've taken 62,000 in profits just in these little bits that add up, but it's down 23,000 in inventory. Now this one here, it's reversed. I've only taken 62,000, but the open inventory is down 109,000. So I'm actually lower. I'm in the hole on that one. So you can see that and this all happened. I was net positive on this total P&L. Every coin here was net positive a few months ago. It's only because now in the last few months they've been driving these prices as low as they possibly can. Look, they've shut down the government. They're trying to torture everybody. They're literally trying to torture everybody. And they're really trying to get everybody out of the crypto market because who is going to own all the shares? BlackRock, Fidelity, Trump, all the House representatives. They don't have time to be running the country. They're busy buying crypto. They're busy trying to figure out how much crypto can I accumulate because
That's
they're
true.
cornering the market. They don't want you to have any of this. They want to own all the shares. They want to own as many of these shares as they can. In the meantime, all the regulations is opening up the banks to be able to store crypto and to move crypto around. So banks are going to be crypto friendly. The regulatory on the crypto market is all pro crypto, pro crypto. And I'm sure Edward and Attila can talk more about that. But the whole world's going crypto. We're going away from this dollars and it's everything's going crypto.
Yes. And
And
one
they
other,
want to own it all because once they open up the floodgates and start telling the people, okay, come on in now, kind of like, well, I don't want to talk other stories. I don't want to talk about Sylvester Stallone.
let
You
me,
know, it's when they're ready, they're gonna open up the doors to everybody, and then everybody's gonna be buying crypto. The world's going crypto, whether they pretend, whether you think they're not, you're wrong.
let me also stress one thing that we say on every Zoom. There's no need for anybody, if you're trading with more than $5,000, there's no need to have more than 3 or 4 coins. It's overkill. Actually, it's going to work against you if you have too many. Now, if you're under $5,000, let's say you're one to 3,000, frankly, one is enough. 1 to 2. Three to 5,000, two is
Or
plenty.
even three.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, if you
really,
just go with the three, a lot of people are doing that. They're doing three good coins. We're sharing. When you sign up, it already shows you three top moving coins, high volatile coins that a lot of people are trading, and they
right,
do. They just keep cranking out money.
right, right. So,
And
okay,
but yeah,
well,
you don't want to have a lot of crypto coin, a lot of coins. It works against you because you're
right,
spreading your money out too thin, and that means when a coin jumps, even though you have a lot of inventory, a lot of individual buys, because you had a lot of coins, the coin doesn't have very much invested in each of these buys. So even though the coin jumps 30%, you don't make as much. If you're only trading three coins, you got 34% in one coin of your money, 33% in another one, and 33% in the third one. So
right.
you got all your money into those three, and that way you have when they move, the more money you have in a coin, the more money you make. See, like this $70 here, $31, $44. If you spread yourself too thin, you'd be making a nickel a trade.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. And it's not because there's anything wrong with the trader. It's just got less money to spread out.
right.
So the less coins you trade, the better.
All right, perfect. So let's go into the Q&A. Edward, are you ready, sir?
I'm
Yeah,
ready. I don't have a jacket on, but Mr. Barsano.
I'm a little cold here. The only time I take off my jacket is when I think about those talking heads on TV. Do you notice those guys on Fox and not Fox, but like MSNBC? They're, they with their ties on and they're all so intelligent. They're all coiffed. They never tell you anything. You listen to them yap. Listen to them yap. Listen to Kramer go blah 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 blah. They don't tell you anything. They don't. You can't make a dime on anything they're saying. It's all misinformation. So that's why sometimes I'll just like I'll take off my coat because I don't want to look like them. I don't want you to think that. I don't want to even associate with that because that's all garbage. That's
Amen to
all
that.
designed to keep the little guy little.
All
And
right.
that's it. And keep you in your jobs, as Edward puts it. Job.
Just over Brooks. Yep.
Yeah, keep you in your day. And
Time.
and that's the thing about crypto. What people don't understand is, and this is a big thing, is you don't realize that you could be a multi-millionaire in a couple years. That's the beauty. And people don't realize the magnitude of what's happening here. I mean, and they've been downplaying the crypto so much. They've been downplaying it just so much that they got the public afraid of it. And you could take surveys out there. The public is literally running scared of crypto. Watch though, and the crypto market, the stock market sky high. And we all know what that looked like in 2000 when that market crashed, man. When all that came all the way down, it's crazy, but the cryptos are sitting at rock bottom where they're going for pennies. ACH going for under 1.3 cents a share. What a joke. You can go to Google it. There, Alchemy ACH news. Here, let's just do it real fast. ACH news. I don't know. Type something like that in. No, that's going to be a company. All right, let's go Alchemy Pay News. Here, Alchemy Pay News. And you can see the stuff they're doing. Alchemy Pay expands in Latin America. See what I mean? They're like Apple Pay worldwide. Alchemy Pay, that's price. Local Alchemy Pay expands emerging markets payments. Alchemy Pay price prediction, whatever. But they're opening up in multiple states. They should be $20 a share or even $2 a share. 1.3 cents, that's an insult. That tells me the whales are, and the thing is, when I talk about the whales, I'm talking about the wealthy, the uber, the uber wealthy.
There you go.
Yeah, I just learned a new term.
There
Hey,
you
honey,
go.
I learned a new term. Sometimes I joke with my wife every time I use a big word, I say, honey, I used a big word. So anyways, they are loading up at ridiculous, insulting prices, and you don't want to miss this. I know I don't want to miss it because I know I'm going to make so many millions when this thing takes off. And in the meantime, I keep taking money anyways. That's the beauty. While you're waiting, where did I click? I clicked on something here that brought something up. While we're all waiting for the market to take off, we still take our daily money every day or every few days. We've had a few down days in a row there, so we didn't sell anything yet. It's okay. I'm in no hurry. I can only take what the market wants to give me. Some people will look at a down market and they'll say, how come my auto trader's not taking profits? And I'm like, the market's down. I'm not going to sell it for below what I bought it for. If I bought it up here and it goes down here, I'm not going to sell it. I'll buy more down here. Now, when it goes up like that, when it bounces up, I'll sell it. I'll let the auto trader sell it. But, we're just going to, that's all it is just keep turning inventory and it will add up. It has nowhere to go. It's the bucket in the well. It has no choice. And anytime we have a good move in the market, boom, 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 it's like, look at Dogecoin just took off there on that day. 9.7, 9.8, 9.10, 9.11, 9.12. It's like, hey, you want to give me all this free money? I'll take it. Better than letting my money sit in a bank. Dead money, man. You remember the old passbook accounts? Some of you guys might remember that.
Yep.
You got your paycheck and you went to the bank and you had that passbook. You had that little like checkbook thing, and you gave it to them and they stamped it. Oh, he just deposited his money, and you try to do all that saving, and then finally you decide to go out and buy a bicycle or something, and they just drain all your savings. There it all went, all that months of saving money, and they just took it all. And it didn't even grow the whole time it was in there. It was just sitting there. I could have done that at home, man. I could have put it in a piggy bank, you know? And,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't think programming works, then how decades and decades and decades the banks have said, give us your money at 0.0001%. We'll protect it for you. It'll always be there if you need it, but you're not going to need it. Then 2 days later, you get a application in the mail. Your credit's so good, doesn't matter what your credit is, that we'll give you a credit card. It should say in fine print, and maybe it does. I've never looked at the microscopic print. Hey, by the way, we're lending your own money back to you at 35%.
Here, I got this in the mail not too long ago. I don't know if you can you see that?
No, we can't see the numbers. How much money?
29.
What do they want to give you your own money at?
20. This is a credit card thing. Get this credit card. 29.74% interest.
Okay, what's wrong with that? They pay you They pay you
1%.
1% on your money, and they charge you 30% on your money. I think
So
that
the
math
bank
works
takes
for
your
them.
money, doesn't give you anything for it, then they loan it out to these credit card companies and they get 30% interest on it. And the credit card company divvies that up with the bank. And what an insult to humanity, man.
Everybody gets paid but you. All right. Now that
But the
we've
crypto
now
market is where to be.
yeah, now that we've gotten you all wound up, you ripped your jacket off.
Yeah, now I look like a normal person. Thank you.
Uh,
All right, Joe says, Ed, can you please show us how you would analyze the $1 billion report and choose initial coins to start with based on that? I believe one of your current defaults is XCN, which according to the report has been quiet over the last 5 months. Would you still recommend starting with that coin based on the report?
All the coins have been quiet over the last 5 months. See what happened 5 months ago, 5 or 6 or 7 months ago, something. Remember the crypto summit in the White House? That was when 25 multimillionaire crypto holders went to the White House and met with Trump. They called it the crypto summit. It was in February or March. From that instant on, and they said we're going to remove all regulations holding this crypto market back. They actually said that. We're going to remove all regulations that are holding this market down. And they're going to, so that the market can take off. The minute they said that, the market for the next, every month, started going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And you got to ask yourself, why? There's nothing but good news every day. I don't see any negative news about cryptos every day. It's all good news. Why is the market going down instead of up? And I realize it's because the whales, the House, your Senate, all those people, those people that make a little bit of money every year in their job, but somehow they manage to be worth $20 million. Don't you wonder how that happens? How did AOC? Nothing wrong. I have nothing against her. Maybe I have a lot, but I'm not political. But in any case, how does she worth millions of dollars all of a sudden? How are they pulling this off? And it's because they're in on the ends. They're all loading up on all. I believe this is just speculation, but I believe they're loading up on as much crypto as they can buy at these
Well,
ridiculous, and they're driving the prices lower and lower.
have
So
you ever
that's what I
thought have you
use
ever
it.
thought that crypto summit may have been a ha while we're trying to figure out what the rails and regulations look like? We're going to force the market down as low as possible, scare as many people out, and then issue good news every single day since, and still the market goes down because it's manipulated
Right.
only to chase everybody out but
They're
them
trying to corner the
and
market.
us.
They're doing what the Hunt brothers try to do. And they're being successful. They pulled it off. They've had a lot of years of experience, a lot of years working on this stuff. I know because my traders got smarter and smarter over the years. So they're working on the mother of all paydays. I knew it right away. As soon as the market started crashing 4 years ago in October of 21, I said, I've seen that pattern before. I saw them do it. They did it in 2000. They did it in 2008 with the bank stocks when they pushed the prices down to $1 and then everybody got out at $1 and they rocketed those prices to $50 a share. The rich got richer and the little guy went back to his job saying, "Oh, I lost again." And it's the same thing with the cryptos. But the cryptos, this is going to be the mother of all paydays. They are looking to make billions, man. These whales are putting 30 million in each of these coins. The rich are just, they're loading up like crazy. And these are real companies, man. People don't get it. And
yep.
anytime if you listen to somebody try to compare stocks against cryptos, like banks, or not stocks, but say banks, putting your money in a bank, they'll say, well, our money is FDIC insured. Has any of you ever cashed in on an this FDIC insurance? Has anybody ever cashed in on that?
Scam.
I don't know. I never heard of it. I mean, I never heard of anybody cashing in on it. I
Yeah.
mean, I have homeowner insurance, and my hot water heater burst in my garage one time, and they sent me a check for like $1,600. I don't even know why. There was no damage, but somehow they sent me a nice check for 1,600. So I cashed in on my home. I actually used my homeowner insurance, but FDIC insurance, I never used that. I never saw that. Nobody used that during the 2008 crash. So How much do you gotta lose here in order to, what does lose mean? I mean, I don't even get it. So that's one thing, somebody will say, well, it's not FDIC insured. The other one I always hear is, well, you don't, in cryptos, technically, the way things work is you don't really own a part of the company when you buy a coin. But in a stock market, you actually own a part of the company when you buy a stock. So I say, okay, how much? I'm going to buy $10,000 worth of Intel stock. What percent of Intel do you think I own? And when again am I ever going to cash in on that? Unless Intel goes out of business. Goodbye. You're full of baloney. It doesn't mean anything. Whether I own the company, a part of the company or not, I'm not here to own the company. I'm here to trade. I'm running a 7-Eleven here. I don't want to own the vape company. I just want to sell their vapes and take profit and turn inventory. I want to
Uh,
do commerce that's been done for thousands of years. That's all we're doing is commerce the way commerce is done. You
yep.
load up at the bottom and you sell it all off at higher prices. Quit acting like it's more than that. Anything more than that, you're being brainwashed.
Thank you, Ed.
So,
So how would
Thank
I
you.
use this? I would not. I will say this. I want to answer Joe's question. I would not change symbols. I've been trading the same symbols for the last 4 years. I don't care about, well, like you said, these coins have been did you say XCN has been going down for a few months? They've all been going down. They've all been going into the gutter. Okay. And down is good. You're loading up because what you're doing is you're filling up. You're just buying and buying and buying and buying. Now you're buying and selling, of course, as it wiggles, but the trend is lower, and you're accumulating, and then you're accumulating more. You got them trapped because they can. Anytime it goes up a little, they got to pay you, and when it goes down, you buy again. Picture a ladder. This is simple. A ladder. There's the ladder. I can see it from the top of the ladder. When I first go in, I have one step. One step. The bottom of the ladder, there's no steps all the way from the bottom to the top. That's the coin price. From the bottom all the way up. And the price is not all the way down here, it's all the way up there. So I bought one step. Now it goes down a little and I add another step. And it goes down a little more and I add a third step. Then it goes up and I sell that third step off. And then it goes down again and I buy another one. Say it goes down 10 steps and I added 10 more steps. Now I got 10, 13, or 14 steps up there, right? That's nice. Because every time, now the coin jumps 5% or 10% and I sell off a few of those steps. I'm just constantly taking money wherever the price goes. If you don't see that, I don't know what to say. It's free money forever. However, when a coin goes lower, down is good. That you got to learn that, and you will learn that once you've been running the auto trader for a while. It'll sink in eventually. I've had so many people come to me later and say, "Now I get it, man. Now I get it. It's just money for life." And
we'll
there's
all be
nothing you can do
celebrating.
because wherever they go, you're always buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. What was that, Edward? So I
I
wouldn't
said
change
we're all
symbols.
celebrating.
I wouldn't change. I don't recommend, and I'm not an investment advisor, but I wouldn't change symbols because you built all this beautiful inventory. Look, I have 21 lots of ACH. If I click on the plus, I'm going to minus this. You can actually tell, it tells you when it's going to buy more on it if the price drops. If the current price is, let's see up here, current ask price, because you buy on the ask. 12887 up here at the top. 12887. That's the current price. If it drops to 11499, that's a 3% drop from my entry, which was where's my entry? 13240. If it drops from 13240 where I bought this coin, if the price drops to 11499, then it'll buy more. So it's telling me. And if it goes up to 0.05, if it goes up to 5 cents, it'll add to the advancer. Now, between the decliner and the advancer is a gap. It can add to gaps. it adds to the middle of that between those automatically also. So I can add when it's going down, I can add when it's going up, I can fill gaps because you don't want to have no man's land here. You don't want to, you want the market to be trapped in this window where they can't ever move. They got to keep paying no matter where they go. So if you stop trading the coin, here's what happens. If you stop trading, say I stop right there and I don't buy anymore and the coin drops 20% more down and you don't own any. And then say it goes up 5%. Well, you didn't make anything because you don't own it down here. You only, your last buy was up here. And you let it go down here without buying. You should always let it buy. The software is doing money management. You don't, it'll manage the coin all the way to the bottom. So you don't care where it goes. You're always taking money. The secret to the market is always take money. Always be trading. Always be trading, always be buying, always be selling, stick to a few coins, and just keep grinding out money forever, and it'll add up. I see other people do it. I see their traders, they call and they ask, oh, what can I do? I've done this to myself. And I see a lot of people unchecking the allow buy on a lot of their coins. And I'm like, that's really, it's a violation of what the auto trader is doing. The auto trader is designed to keep taking money. And if you stop it from buying, and then you throw in other coins, now they're just starting at the top of that new coin, and the other coins, now you got all that. You stopped the game here. You stopped it now from being able to trade this coin, and you're waiting for it to go all the way back up here to sell those. There's no rush to sell those. A lot of people feel like they feel like I've got to be, that's all dead money. It's always dead money anyways. Put it in your, whether it's in a drawer or it's 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 placed particularly where it needs to be. It strategically bought those shares at that price, and it's a way to stick it to the market because they can never move without paying me.
All right, Ed,
I
we
am
got
the
to move on.
ultimate tow booth. Remember
We
the
got
tow
to,
booth
yep,
example?
Yes.
we got to
Yep.
move on to some next
Yep.
questions here.
Yep. So Pam, you touched on fees twice. How are you? Glad to see you with us. What is Coinbase want as far as reducing fees? And then I'm going to read your other one because then I'm gonna touch on both. I looked at fees I was charged on Coinbase, and they are $200 when my net is only $470. How can I reduce the fees? What is Coinbase One does that reduce? So I'm going to go back to
What was
the.
that? Could you repeat the first part? You said something about $200 and 170. What was that?
Yep. But I'm gonna answer it if you would allow me. So
Yeah.
she asked. I looked at fees I was charged on Coinbase, and they are the fee. Her fees are $200. When my net is only 470, how can I reduce the fees? What is Coinbase One? Does that reduce them? I'm assuming the fees. So Pam, I'm going to touch on both of your questions. So I'm going to listen to this because it's going to sound crazy. The trader allows you to make money on fees. Why is that? So hear me out. So when you connect your trader to Coinbase, in this case, in this example, you are connected through Coinbase Advanced, which is automatically lowering the fees. Let me skip to Coinbase One. Coinbase One, you pay $29.95 and you get a rebate back on the fees that you're charged. Okay, so you think
25% rebate.
25% rebate. And if you subscribe to Coinbase One for it's like $29.95, I'm just gonna round it to 30 a month. The money that you have sitting in your USDC while it's waiting to be deployed strategically into the trader, they're paying you, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's like 4.25%. So you're actually making money when it's sitting there, which helps offset the fees. But the fees, reason why I said you make money is because you're getting a reduction on those fees. When you go and you're one step ahead of me. When your trader is set at a 3% profit margin, it already knows because of the relationship between the trader and the exchange. It already knows what the fee is going to be in and out, mostly out. Why is that important? Because the profit margin is set for 3%, but let's just say the fees equate to another 0.25%. The trader tacks that into the profit margin. So it's not a 3% profit margin. It's set at 3.25, just as an example, that it will make money and take the profit only when the position, the 3%, plus the fees have been covered. So even though you're seeing $200 versus $470,
This is net profit after the fees are already
they're not
taken
only net. So I've explained a couple of touch points, but two more things. Next point is your fees are deductible. It doesn't, the IRS or whoever reports the fees, and your fees add up, and I paid this much over a 3-year period or a 1-year period. No, nobody knows the formulas and the advantages that I just explained in there, but you have this giant number of fees theoretically that have already been paid for, but you get to write them off again. Now, I'm going to hand that over to Attila because he will drive home what his thoughts are on fees.
Well, two things. First of all, the fees are they're negligible with Coinbase. There may be 1 to 1.35%. There's no way you accumulated $200 in fees and only made 470. What happened there probably is that you're buying and selling crypto, and you get charged fees on that if you don't have Coinbase One. That's included in the fees. I'm guessing, don't hold me to that, but if I need to do a Zoom and look at your Coinbase account with you, I'll do that, but that doesn't sound right. But here's the deal. The bottom line is never, ever, ever sweat the fees in this digital money revolution. Why do I say that?
fees or taxes.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely right. The reason for that is we are in a space that literally can make us uber, uber wealthy. Okay. I'm talking
It's
about
the word of the day, everybody. Uber.
I'm talking about money you can't even imagine. Why do you want to sweat the fee? When I first started in crypto, the first year, you don't know how many times I paid like $50 in fees to buy only $150 to $200 of crypto. But I knew that
I did the same thing.
that crypto was so difficult to find and locate and buy. I knew 1 or 2 of those were going to go to the moon, and they did. It was well worth the fees. I didn't care about the fees. So although you're confused on them, we'll help you with that, but never sweat the fees. It's really there's actually a book written by a gentleman, Wes something, and it's like, don't sweat the small stuff. The fees are small stuff in the whole big picture. You can't live 10 lifetimes and have this kind of a financial opportunity that we're all looking at straight in the face.
Yeah, Pam, great questions. Thanks
Good
for
question.
thanks for the feedback. And obviously, you and I have chatted many times via Zoom. You're in the family. We're always going to take care of you. So if you need clarification, just reach out to us. No worries. Anthony says triple dipping as I explained the fees piece of the puzzle. So good stuff. All right, let me get to the next question. Scott, comment. The problem with Go Baby Trade is, is it sounds too good to be.
Finally, tell me.
Hold on, it was a complete setup. Just hold your horses. It sounds too good to be true, and we have been conditioned not to believe anything that sounds too good to be true. But Go Baby Trade is the real deal. Thanks, Scott. We appreciate that. That's the best bad news about the trader we ever heard. So, Fardin, or we'll call you FA. I heard somebody referred to you as FA. So, all respect intended. How would the trader deal with the possibility of crypto getting delisted if you already started trading it?
Can I answer that?
Good. Yeah, good. But let me give you an example. A friend of mine had PRQ. PRQ got delisted on Coinbase, and there is a process. I don't know. Actually, Ed, very good, long time, 47-year-old friend of mine, Howard Kotz, is in the system, and I asked him to send you directly a note of how do you convert, and the conversion is from PRQ to React, And he
Yeah, I
did.
remember that. It's
Yeah.
actually a link. If he sends us
Yep.
email, we have the link that
Yep. Yep.
you
Yep. He did send
and
the
that's
email. I've not talked to him in a bit, but that's a use case scenario to be able to explain it. But go ahead, Attila.
someone in my sports department
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
responded to that.
So listen, that is a very, very small possibility that something like that happens, because it has happened to a handful of coins over the last 5 to 7 years. Okay, but Coinbase and Kraken both have a reputation to protect. They put these companies through a vetting process, and that vetting process is becoming more and more difficult there's more hoops for these companies to jump through to get listed now. And if you just look at that $1 billion report and you stick to the top 50 to 70 coins, you'll never have an issue with delisting. Coinbase and Kraken is not going to take on a crypto coin or company that they think they might have a problem with delisting in the future with. Now,
Yeah.
again, that being said, it can happen. The possibilities of that happening, very minute, under a 0.5%.
And
So,
I haven't seen any of the companies go out of business outright.
right.
I
The
mean,
companies
usually
are,
they're
yeah,
merging, they do a merge and the symbol name changes, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I haven't seen a company just vaporize.
right. True that.
I think
Right.
Coinbase, there was only
Well, there were
35
two,
coins in Coinbase 4 years ago.
FTX and Luna vaporized.
Did they go?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean those companies?
Yeah. They vaporized. But that's two out there's like 20,000 crypto companies and coins right now.
Oh, right.
20,000.
Oh, I'm not saying
Yeah.
cryptos
Yeah.
can't go out of business. I'm just saying that these guys vetted these coins.
Right.
They only let a few years ago there was only 35 coins when I started with Coinbase. You'd think I'd been in it for 100 years, right? I've only been in it 4 years, and now they've gone from 35 coins to about 350 coins that you can trade. But that's out of like you said, 20,000 coins out there. I
All
mean,
right,
that's
Tony.
why it's important to stick to the highest trade count report, and get the cream of the crop instead of, because, I imagine if coins are going to disappear, it's going to be this junk down at the bottom.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
we forgot to mention that the one of the parts of magic of the $1 billion report is that when you talk about number of trades, those are everything that you see on here are profitable closed trades. Again, to reiterate, this is all intranet. This is all data that does not come from outside the machine. It comes from inside the machine, and everything you see is closed profitable trades. And you see a little note just above at the top at a 3% price move, then that's at a minimum. So because the trader never sells at a loss, you already know now that it collects inventory waiting for the spike. It doesn't matter how much inventory that it collects, the more the better, because you're buying more inventory at the bottom of the market. When my opinion only, when the market begins to spike, you are going to have cases where they will go up 20, 30, hundreds, maybe thousands of percents in the blink of an eye. And you're going to be sitting there going, ha ha ha, I took advantage of everything because I had all this inventory that was beginning to make me worry that I had too many bags of chips on the shelf. But you're going to be crying all the way,
To
not
the
to the
bank.
bank, not to the bank, but back to your trader, because what goes up must come down. What
You're going to
goes
be
down,
laughing.
what goes down must go up. And the secret in here, if you didn't glean it out, the secret is the fact that it just takes free money on the wiggles. Period. So, all right, back on the soapbox. Uh-oh, Ed's going to make a point.
Well, I was just going to look here. Look at this. What a joke. How beautiful is that, man? When you see coins just fly like that straight up and then come straight down, the auto trader sells anything you bought down here, you just made a fortune. I get people calling me when the market's down like this and say, should I stop my auto trader from adding more? I'm like, no. The biggest money you're going to make is the stuff you're buying at the bottom, because that's going to jump up and you're going to sell it for a fortune. And it's just, you see, again, like I said, stock prices move like this. Crypto prices move like this. You can see it.
Violent volatility, and this trader eats volatility. Period. Here's the toughest thing. If you're considering owning the trader, great. If you're not, great. We're just educating you on the facts of something that exists. But here's the hardest thing. Here's the hardest thing for you to get over mentally. The fact that you have been taught that something like this does not exist, and it does. And you can go look. There isn't, but here's a challenge I haven't brought up in quite some time. If you can bring us an opportunity, another trading platform like this that has money management, doesn't sell at a loss, long-term, triple digit profits over a 3.5 year period in a 90% down market, I will personally send you $1,000 in Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, I don't care if it's Bitcoin or what you pick, and I'll send it to you. That's a pretty bold challenge, but it really isn't, because you're seeing a one of a kind here. The hardest thing for you to get over, if you own the trader or if you're thinking about it, is one, is too good to be true. It's not. You've seen it. The second is the psychological shift that you have to make in understanding you're not buying an asset for it to go straight up. You're buying an asset like all of the big investors, waiting for it to wiggle, buy and sell. The reason why you don't see a lot of traders out there is because people spend years and years and years staring at 27 screens, trying to figure out how to then close their eyes and throw a dart and maybe be right 50% of the time. This is right 90% of the time. I don't know how you can make a comparison. Plus, I wouldn't want to spend 27 hours a day staring at a screen anyway. There isn't an easier way, and I'll show an example as we come to a close here shortly. It just makes money.
Well,
I don't know how.
All right, let's move on.
All right,
but
Tony.
May I make one comment? When people talk about AI, artificial intelligence, because for years, I've been doing AI since '89, and my robotic traders always had AI in them. I never bragged about them. And even in Cool Trade or my old trading system, you could go up there and click on the AI menu item. It was there, and it would pop up and it would show you the whole screen with all the numbers. And I don't do that. I mean, now but you see these other companies talking about AI. What they're not telling you, what you don't understand, is AI can't predict what a coin is going to do tomorrow. Because all AI is pattern recognition. It's looking at the environment right now. It's looking at stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, and 27 indicators that's happening right at this instant in time, right now. And it's saying, based on the market and the coin and all the price, the movement it sees, it says, I've seen that pattern, that snapshot 1,000 times. And usually when in the next 20 to 30 minutes, the price of the coin goes higher within that time frame. You can't do that for the next day because you don't know what the environment looks like the next day. So tomorrow, I don't know what stochastics and MACD and all these indicators are going to look like tomorrow morning. So I can't predict that today, what a coin's going to do tomorrow. And anybody that says they can, they're lying. And anyone that promises you returns within a time frame is lying. We guarantee 100, you'll double your money in a month, or you can't. That's all baloney, because I can only take what the market's willing to give me in this instant in time. If the market doesn't want to, if the market's going down, then we're not taking profits. When the market, as it wiggles, as you can see, like in this, when it goes down, it goes up. Every down has an up. There's no down on this screen that does not followed by an up. Show
Yep.
me one.
Yep.
Show
Do
me
that.
one down that doesn't have an up. They're
That's
all
actually a really
followed
good
by
simple
up.
point.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
made that up just now. I mean, the reality is, I mean, this is just reality. It's just numbers going up and down, folks. And
All right.
All right, Tony. Tony says Edward. I'm assuming he's talking to me.
That's
Yeah.
you.
Please help. The 36 and 9
No,
months highest.
3,
Three,
6, and 9.
oh, 3, 6. Okay, sorry. I'm like, that's why I was confused the first time I read it. The 3, 6, and 9 month highest count list is not showing on my trader. Do I have to update it in any way, or should it be loaded from the server each time? Interesting.
All right, I haven't moved it. All right,
Oh, it's still in the dev environment. Gotcha.
It's in. I think it's on the. Isn't it on the Go? If you go to Go Baby Trade website, you can see it. But I don't.
Yeah. So I just checked. It's not showing on.
Trader.
Yeah, it's not showing on my trader either. So you've not
No,
pushed
it's not
it
in the
into
menu yet. It's
Got
not.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not in the
So-
menu on the auto trader, but
Yeah,
it will
Tony,
be.
I understand now. Yep, you're going to see as I intimated either earlier on this one or in mastermind classes prior. Ed Barsano and his team don't sit still. They're constantly working 27 hours a day to try and figure out how to improve this and modify it to continue to sharpen the iron to where it literally keeps taking advantage. So I don't have, this is new over the past couple of weeks. I don't have the 3, 6, and 9 month either. But as soon as all the bugs are worked out, because you're seeing it on the developers,
Well,
traders.
it's not necessarily bugs. I release it. You know, they're two different environments. It's not as easy as you think to just paste it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm using old terms, right? And whenever you add something, you wanna break fix or bug test it or whatever the case may be.
Well, then then there's more work to bring it into the auto trader. Also,
Right.
there's more steps
All
to
right.
bringing it into the auto trader.
Cool.
Edward,
It'll get there. It'll get there. Plus lots
Edward,
of other stuff. We'll get there.
let me grab Troy and Pam's questions. Ed, this is for you from Troy. Good question. Can you talk about the difference between profits taken and current profits saved? Does current profits saved require manual action? Great question.
Down here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to manage when you turn on your auto trader initially, it's saying I want to save 100% of my profits. Okay? That means say I buy something with $1,000 and then I make whatever, say I make $100 profit when it closes. The $100 will go into I'm saving, it says profits to save is 100%. So the $100 that it made will go into the save bucket and the other 1,000 will go back to the trader to allow the auto trader that's its principal money that it's using to trade with. Okay? So you're saving your money. It's this money is inside your auto trader. It's in your Coinbase or your Kraken account balance already. It's in your USDC already. This is just a number. It's just a number on a screen telling the auto trader not to use it. You see that 106753? If I go in here, it shows right here 106753. Okay? So it subtracts that out from your cash, from your USDC, so that the auto trader doesn't use it. And then it says after I subtracted out that 106,000, I have this much cash remaining to use in the auto trader. So the goal is you want to save your profits. I mean, I like it to save your profits because I have a Coinbase Visa card that I use. And so I like to have a lot of saved money in my save bucket. And, I bought a new car last year with that money. See, if you let it add up, if you don't let it add up and say this is zero, don't save any of my profits, then your current profit saved would be zero. You wouldn't have anything saved. That means the whole 1,000 plus the $100 profit stays in the auto trader, and the auto trader then uses it. And then what happens is you use your
Yeah, his
it
main,
starts buying in bigger lot sizes because it has like the $70 here. If I don't save it, then the auto trader will just use it. And it'll use it to buy more coin. When it buys more coins, it'll buy more shares of that coin with that trade. And then
right.
the problem is, if you're doing that without saving your profits, here's what happens. You're you're putting more money in at the top because you're taking your profits and you're using it up here. And then when the market drops all the way down here, you don't have that saved money. You used it up. You're using it up on the way. It might add that $70 might add $1 to each trade, or $2 or $5, something like that to each trade. It's so insignificant when you look at it like that. It's not worth it. You're better off accumulating it. That $70 and that 49 and that 31 and that 44, when you start adding all this stuff up, it adds up to $353,000. This is where wealth is. So I don't want the auto trader just using my profits. I want to save my profits. If
Yeah,
I add up closed positions P&L, all this number here adds up to that 353,000. So you don't
yeah.
really want to use it. So I prefer to save the profits.
Good question. And then let me add to that, I know one of the reasons you asked that question was to understand whether or not you yourself manipulate that number. The answer is obviously yes. You could change 100 to 0. You could put 50. So 50% is saved and 50% goes back in the trader. So you manage this as you wish. Yes, you can modify it. That was the bulk of your question.
There it is.
Yep.
Just go
And
to
then,
the management screen and change it.
yep. And if I might add, you can modify it further. At any point in time, you can release those profits saved back into the trader.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
anytime. Just edit the amount. If I want to release 10,000 of that 106,000, that would leave me here. If I say minus 10,000, it's just like a check register. Deduct 10,000 from that 106. And it tells me the result is going to be this 96,753, which is 10,000 less than that. If I hit save, then the new saved amount will be 96,000. I'm not going to save that.
And you will have redeployed 10,000 into
To the
trade.
auto trader, because then the auto
Right.
trader, when it subtracts up here, it's going to subtract your profit saved from your cash. It's going to say only deduct 97,000 or 96,000 from my
Right.
cash.
Great.
Don't deduct
Okay.
106. So that leaves
Perfect.
more money for the auto trader.
Yeah, that's enough
Good.
on that. But good question. Let me get to Pam's, and then I guess you could address Edward Scott's comment there. So Pam says, this is a very valuable presentation. Many details that are not obvious are being clarified. Thank you, Pam, for listening carefully. Now, she further says, listen carefully, everybody. The trader may be hands-off, but to do that, we need the understanding to be able to let go. I respectfully disagree. Because the reason I bought the trader is because I didn't want to have an understanding so that I could let go. I challenge anybody that does not yet own the trader. I challenge you right here and now. You buy that license. As soon as you buy it, click the default coins, put in the amount you want to trade, walk away for a month, and come back. And I guarantee there'll be plenty of profits in there. And you haven't done diddly. I mean, less than diddly. Except
That's not what she means, though, Attila.
No, and I respectfully agree to disagree for your disagreement.
Did I misunderstand her?
So I know I spent quite a bit of time with
I know you
Pam
did.
on Zooms. So you're not wrong, but I believe
Some people want to know too
right.
much.
You
You
I
can't
think
know.
it's even
You can't know 25 years of development. You're just not going to get
no,
there.
and it's not
There
as
has
deep
to be
as
a
that.
leap of faith at some
Yeah.
point.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Pam, but I believe what you're saying is because what you know and what 99% of the people out there are taught in the world of finance in the world of investing and all the other positives and negatives that we talked about is that you are programmed over a very, very long time to not necessarily understand the details. But when in comparison, old information replaced with new information, I believe what Pam's saying is that she now has a more detailed understanding, and it's easier and belief.
To
And her
let go.
belief system is changing because she literally knows now, a month and a half maybe, that it literally is just hands off. She doesn't have to do anything about it, which is counterintuitive to what we've been taught.
Well,
What we've
what
been
we've
taught
been
is
taught.
you got to be a genius. You got to go to school for
Yeah, and they're
107
wrong
years,
about that.
right?
And let me tell you something. There's a lot of investment advisors who use my software, all right, that are out there that work for a living as investment advisors. And I've talked to a lot of, and I'm not putting anybody down, but they don't know. Nobody can know anything, really. Nobody can know unless you're just, hey, you want to, here, I can give you, you want a stock tip? Buy NVIDIA, buy Google, buy Microsoft, buy Intel, buy Dell. I mean, we all know what the top coins are or the top stocks. If you just want to be a buy and holder, you buy those and you watch them go up through the years. But we're looking to make 100 times what they're making, and we're doing it without the risk. That's the beauty. We're turning real. I mean, we're turning little. I mean, this is going to be the wealth. I can't even describe it. I'm tongue tied because the wealth opportunity here is so dramatic. It's just crazy. We are going to make so many millions of dollars. It's crazy, man.
But it's also a longevity play, like I said
And it's a
before.
longevity play, and
Yep.
too many people out there think they can predict stuff. All the knowledge in the world is not going to help you at all in as far as all the stuff out there, whatever's out there, you, you know, because when the market goes down, it goes down. I don't care what you thought you knew. The market doesn't care what you think. The
Yep.
market's going to hammer you, and then the problem is while the market's crashing, I can tell you what's happening. Family and friends are telling people, get out, they're going to steal, you're going to lose everything. This is all a scam. The market, the cryptos aren't even real. It's all voodoo. It's smoke and mirrors. How many people were sitting on how many coins of Bitcoin 10 years ago and then sold it because the market went down and stuff like that? And they would have been multimillionaires today. Regular people on regular jobs, even the lowest jobs. It didn't matter what your job was, you could still be a multimillionaire. You use the word nascent space. What is that one, Attila? Because I feel like this.
Nascent, yeah, a new nascent space is just something that came about recently. It's never been significant, but now it's very significant. It's a new
Right.
nascent means
All
recent and newer.
New.
Yeah, so
right.
this
This is
whole
like buying.
industry. Yeah.
Right, cool, thank you. This is like buying Gillette in the 40s for 2 cents a share. I mean, this is nuts because all these coins, these are real companies. Alchemy Pay, man. I mean, that's like Apple Pay worldwide, man, going for less than 2 cents. What a joke. The Graph, GRT, they get 2 billion hits a day with their APIs. They are so big. They're like so much bigger than I am. And they're going for 6.5 cents. What a joke. They should be $20 a share. And I'm telling you, all these companies are real, and they're multi-million dollar companies, if not billion-dollar companies, and they're in on the ground floor of a beautiful money that I mean, the crypto space is going to be so big in the world, and it's growing all over the world like crazy. I mean, Trump's talking about paying off the national debt with crypto, and he's going to do it too. And a lot of these companies are just going to they're just watch when this market turns around. We've been in a 4-year downtrend. When that trend turns up and you've got all that inventory you bought on the way down, you're going to sell it all off for. I mean, I watched Shiba Inu. I watched it go up 66% one day. And then I watched, and then the very next day it went up 100%. It doubled. And you know, Alchemy Pay, what did it do? In 5 days, it went from 2 cents to 6 cents, or 5.6 cents, right? And then look what it did. That was a few months ago. That was January 30th. And now it went all the way from 5.6 cents to 1.3. It came right back down. So it went all the way up. We sold off all that inventory. You saw it in my trader. And then we bought it all, and then we loaded up again for the next run back up. And what does it do when it runs up? Where's it at? It does that. It pops up, straight up, straight up. You just clean up on the, you look at that, clean up. When a coin goes right there, look to the left, and you see everything that's below that you owned, it all sells off. There's no inventory left here that it holds. That one little move right there, everything below that sold off. When it went up here, everything below that went sold. Like right now, it's up here. Everything below that point sold off. All that, everything. Anything you thought you were carrying for inventory, it's all gone. I mean, it's just, it's an insult to humanity. I don't know what to say. Everybody should be on board. There's no question about it. If I'm not getting 1,000 signups a day, then that just tells you the mental state of a society. Because, you know, there's too many people out there that will say, well, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is. Those cliches need to go out the window. They are taught to tell you you don't have a brain. Because if it sounds
it's the reinforcement. So you know my story about being in the
job.
Matrix. Yeah, you know my story about being in the Matrix, right? So if they come out of the gate, and this is a life lesson. It took me a long time to figure out. If they come out of the gate and tell you a lie, what do they have to keep doing?
Keep lying.
Keep lying.
Right?
until somebody presents you with something that changes your perception of the Matrix. And look, everything we presented, I told you all the way back at the beginning. We're not going to make some outlandish predictions. We're just going to tell you factually what happened. So if you come out the other end of this, and a lot of you that have put trust in the process and understood and did your homework and ended up buying the trader, realize now, but you still go, wait, I've been lied to for decades. So challenge, as Mr. Barsano.
I just want to reiterate, I've known Mr. Barsano since 2012, and I've met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have owned traders, stock traders and crypto traders. And the ones that just let the technology and let the brilliance of Mr. Barsano's technology do all the work and not try to figure out too much, just push the button and make it go, and they set it and forget it, they do extremely, extremely well. Those that try to hone it, like unnecessarily super duper hone it for whatever reason, or change settings, or they trade with too many coins, or they have a question that they're not sure of and they don't contact us. Yeah, they have a few complaints here or there. If you have a question and you don't call us, that's on you. That's not on us. We put it 3 times. We put our email addresses there for you to contact us for questions, and you could ask anybody on the Zoom. When you email us, I'm back to you in sometimes 1 hour, 2 hours, never more than 24.
We all are.
And Ed Barsano and his crew, I mean, the crew over at Go Baby Trade, I mean, they're on top of it, and they've got a great staff there that are right back to you. So if you're not sure, ask us. You know, just send us an email. We're there.
Yeah, we all live and breathe this stuff. I live and breathe the software, and I'm adding new things to it.'re gonna love things. More things coming.
Yep. So listen, there's one more question. Actually, it's more of a statement clarification by Cindy, but I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping first. So I mentioned that we have a growing community. A lot of you have joined it. Thank you for the support. But let me, for anybody that has not, I'm going to put, this is a free community where everybody gets to to play nice in the sandbox and get an idea of if you're new, you can ask questions, so you're not hearing always just from us.
Do you want to
So,
share your screen? Share anything on the screen?
yep. Well, no, I'm going to I'm not going to show you the my side, but I am going to put the link. All you have to do is click on that link, and you can enter the community for free. A lot of people are getting a lot of good information. We're now issuing. We tried it on a daily basis, and it just didn't make sense. So now every Monday we're putting what happened last week in the marketplace and what to pay attention to in the upcoming week. It's an aggregation of information that we've gotten some positive feedback on. So we're always trying to not only Ed and his team, Attila, myself, and our team, but any of the resources, as I also talked about, it's still a little wispy because we're still putting things together about tax professionals, legal professionals, trust professionals. All those are going to be part of the ecosystem that you get to participate in. The core is giving you the opportunity to understand how to make money in your sleep. Then, of course, you're going to want to protect it and make sure that you're paying minimum amounts of taxes and things like that. So I'm also going to put in there for those of you, like I said at the beginning, we're having some glitches in Zoom. Zoom will normally respond and send you the recording for this. But in the meantime, I just posted our financial intelligence for you YouTube site. So it normally hits there before it gets sent to you. So feel free to go there. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe because we're going to be doing things in the future that that you'll benefit from. The last thing I'm going to put in there is Crypto Casey's discount. I got excited talking along the way that I didn't post it as many times as I wanted to. So bear with me just 1 second. It's not going to let me do that. Why? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Hang on. Okay, there you go. Housekeeping done. Cindy, you're the last one on the board. Cindy's got an observation that that I don't know how many of you, there are a lot of people that have multiple traders attached in portfolios within a Coinbase account. So she says, so I will say you need to know what just happened to me. I have 2 portfolios in my Coinbase account. I did not realize the funds that I had been sending were going to my default account. I had to transfer those funds in to GBT portfolio. This was very important to know for those who have more than one GBT trader. So that is good insight. Yes, you have to do a little bit of management inside to be able to allocate the new funds that you put in to Go Baby Trade so that it hits the right accounts. So thanks for that comment, Cindy. All
Most
right.
people have a default account, but yeah, I have a whole bunch of accounts also, portfolios. There are whole families out there with a whole bunch, husband, wife, each kid. You know, they're managing it all from one Coinbase account, but they have multiple auto traders, and each auto trader is looking at a different portfolio.
Right.
So, yeah, if you have different portfolios, we work with people on that. We help you do it.
Yeah. Again, we just posted again the support emails. Don't be shy. You can always, when Mr. Barsano joins us in the group in our community, you can always ask questions there. But he's an extraordinarily busy gentleman. If he decides to jump in, then great. If there's something you need to know directly, I would reach out to his team first. But I would also encourage you to go to the frequently asked questions as well. That's a living document that every time a good question comes up, they post it in there. And it has a search now. So thanks, Cindy. The team helped me. It's time to wish everybody farewell. I do want to leave it open to Mr. Barsano first. Besides Go Navy, sir, how do you suggest that people take advantage of your 50 years of trading prowess and 25 years of timeless, tireless work to improve our lives?
Hey, it's what I do with retirement. I'm loving it. With retirement, I retired at 39. But you know, that was crazy. But besides Go Navy, especially you young people, if you're just getting out of high school, you don't have any other plans, go in the Navy for 4 years. It could change your life forever. You change your
A-
life forever. It's not
After
like
you get after you
what?
get your parents to fully fund a trading account, so you can come out wealthy after you get the Navy experience.
Well, I have a lot of military people that do
Yeah,
they put money every month automatically into their Coinbase account. So
yeah.
yeah, and but besides that, the Navy is not. I'm not a recruiter, but the Navy, it's not like you're going to be running through a rice paddy with a machine gun. You're on a ship, all right, and you're eating like a king. I hate to say that, but you're eating steak and lobster on Fridays. I mean, it's not as bad as you think, and I actually feel guilty that after from I used to go through that line like a buffet every day, 3 meals a day, and I never asked I never asked to help in the kitchen or anything. I never said, hey, you guys need a hand or anything, because I could see they're in there working like dogs. Got all that food, and we ate really great. But anyways, people tell me when I say that, they say, well, it wasn't your job and all. I know, but I still feel guilty about it, to be honest. In any case, but yeah, don't wait for the market to take off to jump on board. I'm not trying to be a salesman. I'm doing it for you, your own good. The sooner you get started, the sooner the auto trader can start doing what it does. Starts building that inventory at the right prices so that when the market does take off, you benefit from it. Okay. Other than that, I just want to say thank you again to Crypto Casey for letting me speak to her audience. And Edward and Attila, you guys rock. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for putting up with us 3 hours every week.
Right on the just a little bit over that. So, Attila, how you feeling?
Good. Brian D says, hooray, Air Force. All right, Brian. And then we have Steve Cobb says, Navy food is great. I'm an Army Vietnam vet. Thank you, sir. All I'm going to say is if your money is unemployed, which it probably is, give your money a job, get the trader, make money in your sleep. Keep it as simple as possible. If you want to complicate it, if that's your personality, go at it. Be my guest, but I'm a simple guy. I like things nice and easy, nice and simple, like Tina Turner, nice and easy. Um, so with that, just go forth and multiply your money with the trader. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next. Actually, we have an announcement. Next week, we actually will not be on here next week. Edward and I
Oh,
are.
thanks for telling me.
Yeah. No, we did tell you. We told you about that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
you
the
got
day
it
gotta
written.
before
look at my
Thanksgiving.
schedule.
You got it written down, Ed. But we're going on a conference that's blockchain crypto related, so we're going to have to skip next week. But we'll be here in 2 weeks. And I don't know what the date of that is, but I think it's the 10th of November, if I'm not mistaken. That's a
It would
Wednesday.
be yes, it would be the no. Um, we're not here on the 5th. We will be back
12th.
live on the 12th.
12th, yes. Okay. So we'll see you on the 12th. Normally we are every week after week after week, pretty darn consistent. Thank you to Crypto Casey also. And Edward, I'll turn it over to you to close the Zoom webinar.
Yeah, I listen. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to add a transfer, not only transformation but service. We love the opportunity to teach you what you probably didn't know that you didn't know. I am so jazzed to be able to enjoy my family and help as much as I can. I didn't program this thing, but I can tell you that there are things ahead of you in this ecosystem that by thanks and by graciousness of Mr. Barsano and putting you in a position to be able to make money in your sleep, we're going to be able to further amplify it for you and give you the resources to be able to live a much more fruitful, happy life with more time with your children, more time with your family. That's what I get out of this. As I said before, you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So enjoy the time. We so much appreciate the opportunity that you've invested your time in us today and every week. And yes, go forth and multiply your money. And we'll see you not next week on the 12th. If you haven't joined community, please do, because we'll be giving general announcements as well, reminding everybody. Thank you, Attila, for I totally brain cramped on not being here next week. So
Yep. No
we'll
problem.
give you a day off, Mr. Barsano. With
I
that,
will fill that day. Don't worry.
well, watch one of the recordings. So with
Take
that,
care,
thank you
everyone.
so much.
Bye
Cheers.
now. Bye-bye.
Bye.